Hey guys, what's up? Happy Friday. Welcome to Somewhere in the Middle. Today we have a special kind of show. We are not doing politics today. We are doing conspiracies, my most favorite topic in the world, if you didn't already know. And I also have a special guest with me today, my very good friend, Heather B. She's my road trip buddy. I've known her a lot of years, and this is something that we absolutely love to talk about. So we're going to drag y'all down the conspiracy road with us. We have a lot of conspiracies to talk about. And of course, if you guys have any conspiracies that you want us to discuss or give our opinions on, once you hear our excellent take on the ones that we are going to discuss, just drop it in the comments below. But on the docket today, we have a few of your favorites. Okay. Of course, we have to talk about Michael Jackson. That is one that I've been dying to talk about for a long time. I have so many thoughts on the Michael Jackson murder. It was a murder. He did not commit suicide. Okay. Let's just leave that there for now. And then I'll tell you why I think all that. Then we're going to talk about OJ Simpson. I have a very different take on OJ Simpson than most people. Most people think that OJ did it because he wrote a book that said, "If I did it." So why wouldn't you think that? But I read the book. I have some information to share. I have some conspiracies to share. And I'm going to share them with you guys so that you guys can form maybe a different opinion on that case. We're also, of course, going to go down the Diddler road because it's been kind of quiet with Diddy lately ever since his house got raided and the videotape of him dragging Cassie, in the hallway of a hotel. And we're going to talk about that. We might sprinkle in a little bit of Jeffrey Epstein in there. And Heather has been all over the Karen Reed case. If you don't know about the Karen Reed case, it is crazy. I don't know too much about it, but Heather knows everything there is to know. So she's going to take us down that road. And of course, I'm going to give my initial thoughts, even though I don't know too much about it. But there might be some of you guys out there that are also wrapped up in this case. So we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight. Please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Comment in the comments box where you're watching from. And if you have any conspiracies of your own that you would like to discuss, go grab a snack, grab a drink. I'm drinking some tequila and cranberry. Heather's got a beverage of her own. So it's adult time up in here, people. So sit down, relax, and enjoy the show.
You are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Sunni and Mo.
Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, Don on the beat.
Hey, I got so many ups.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ups.
so many y'all.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's in me. I got so many ups.
Hey. Heather's here. She's here. Heather! I always, well, not always, and only in Colorado, when I'm indulging as the Colorados do, the Coloradans do, I always scream Heather's name, Heather! She's always
I get blamed
doing
for
some-
everything. No, you just blame me for everything because
I do.
I'm an enabler. I'm like, go have a good time. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Heather's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry that this road doesn't have any guardrails and the other side of it is like
Fine, we're safe.
1,000.
We're safe. It's fine.
Heather's a liar. Okay. Heather is a liar.
You made it safe down the mountain, okay? It was worth the lie.
We may have to talk about that. We may have to talk about, are we going to be anywhere near the $1 Million Highway when we go to this next time?
No, that's more easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, we may have to like film a few things because we are doing a girls' trip in July. Something crazy always happens. So we may have to be a little bit diligent about filming some of the antics that go on there.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. I see some people in the comments. I saw Marland in there. So, of course, Marlandon, I have to give you your intro song, the Big Back theme song for all the big backs out there. I'm a big back. Heather could be a big back from time to time. She loves her little Fiesta potatoes from Taco Bell.
So good. So good.
Yep. So, we're going to roll the Marlandon theme song real quick and then we'll get started.
Oh my God. I die every time. I
I
love it.
might
I
just
just
eat a
love it.
Big Mac. I love
I
it.
love it. Like the slap on the butt at the end is.
I know. And it's like, what exactly is he slapping? Because there's nothing there. There is no. Oh, wait, can we talk today about my transgender, or is it a
Yeah.
transgender experience in the gym? Because
Was
you
it just a
laughed.
dude? Okay, so was it a transgender or was it just a dude that just was like, I'm going in here? 'Cause you don't
Okay,
know.
people. So I'm at the gym today and finishing up my workout, going in the sauna, and I'm almost like done in the sauna. I have like a few minutes left, and this person, I'm gonna say person, but I know now it's a man, opens the door and like sticks their hand like to kind of like feel the air, because sometimes like the sauna's not working, so people are like, oh, if it's not hot, I'm not going to get in there. Maybe he was just opening it to see who else was in there because he wanted to do like his thing in there and just be like, feel like he was a girl in the sauna. Anyways, sticks his hand in there, realizes there's two women in there, me and this other girl, and leaves, right? So me and her look at each other and we're like, was that a guy? Because this person was Asian, had short hair, was wearing sweatpants and a sports bra.
So it's just a girl sauna. Like it's not like did like the guys have one and the girls have
Yes,
one?
it's in the
Okay.
locker room of the girls
Okay.
locker room. Yeah. So I finish up in the sauna and I go out into the locker room, and sure enough, they're there. And he's putting on a t-shirt. Okay. So he's got like his arms extended. And at that point, I can literally see like a dick imprint in his in his sweatpants. I can
Okay.
see like the little dick imprint.
I was gonna say, was it at least impressive or not?
No, I wasn't looking at it like that because I was just like, what is going on? But there was also like a little like trail of hair going down to the belly button area and like hair around the belly. Like women,
Yeah.
most women don't have
You don't
that.
have hair there.
Exactly. And so I was like, what the hell? So, it's Pride Month. And I'm like, okay, well, let me walk outside the locker room and see if they have changed the signage on the locker room. And I just didn't notice. And maybe it's now like multi-gender, which if that's the case, I'm immediately going to go cancel my membership like at LA Fitness. And it wasn't. It just said women. So I walked up to the front. And this is your favorite part when I talk about the gay guy at the front.
Yeah.
So I get up to the front, and it's this gay guy who I know who works there. Black gentleman, tiny little dude, right? And he's like, "Hi, how can I help you?" And I was like, "Hey, I just have a question. Are the locker rooms co-ed now?" And he was like, "Absolutely not." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because there was a guy in there." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, there was a guy. At first, I was like, oh God, he's gay. Like, he's going to be down with this. He was not down with this at all. And he's like, that is absolutely not our policy. He's like, is he still in there? And I was like, no. When I left, he was walking upstairs to go to the treadmills. And he's like, okay, well, what was he wearing? And I was like, he's wearing like a coral color t-shirt and like gray sweatpants. And he was like, okay. And he like turns his head and he's like, Natalie, we need to go Natalie, we need to go handle a member issue now. Natalie, like Natalie comes up and she has like no idea because she wasn't standing around when I was telling the story. So I had to kind
Natalie's
of
now the new Patricia. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna be Natalie now. Natalie.
Natalie is just like, what the hell? I don't know if Natalie was like a trainee or what. But anyways, this guy was like all for going up there and like he was handling the situation, which I 100% appreciate. So shout out to LA Fitness. And to this guy, I forget his name, who was going to handle this situation. He was like, ma'am, we will go up there immediately and handle this. It was unacceptable. And he's like, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. And I was like, it's okay. I'm like, I just, women are naked in there. Like people take off their clothes. Like I don't think that that's a comfortable situation. And he needs to know that this is not like a co-ed thing. Like he needs to go with his people in the men's locker room. So yeah,
At least
it
he
was
handled it
crazy.
well because just what I've seen news-wise, how many fitness centers have had problems with that, and they're
Mhm.
backing up the ones that are in the wrong bathroom, and that
Right.
a lot of people were canceling their memberships and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
didn't have
There's
any trouble with that.
no way would I have dealt with that. So I'm so happy that they dealt with it. My son was like, "Did you not stick around to watch them go tell him?" I was like, "No."
You didn't follow them and film it? What's wrong with you?
Well, okay, I did turn on my voice recorder
Uh-huh.
because I was like, if this goes sideways, I'm gonna go viral. My moment to shine. Like it's gonna happen.
This is it, guys. This is it. This is
This
how I
is
go
it.
viral.
This is it.
It's
I can see it
happening.
now. Woman goes to LA Fitness to work out and encounters like a man in the dressing room. Like I had it all in my head. I was like, this is it. This is my moment. I'm gonna shine.
What'd you
But
do? You messed up the audio?
no, no, no. The audio
Oh.
recorded. The audio
Oh.
recorded. I got it. The only thing that didn't pick up was the Natalie part because
That's the best
he
part.
turned and like walked back to go get like fetch Natalie
You could have
immediately.
been the one to be the new Patricia to change it over to Natalie, and you messed it up. You had one job.
I know. I know. Oh, so we'll see.
Oh,
We'll
man.
see if that guy's back tomorrow. I don't know. But anyways, yeah,
Maybe
that
not.
was my story. That was my story for the day.
So
Well,
I have one thing I need to say. Okay. I have one
okay,
thing to
okay.
say. OJ did it.
No, that's not how we're starting this out. OJ did not. Okay, you guys in the comments. I said we're going to talk about OJ, Michael, Diddy, and Karen Reed. I need everybody to if you're listening and you want to weigh in on this or you have thoughts, like put your thoughts in the comments now because take a side. Take a side immediately because Heather didn't even read the book.
You don't
She
need
didn't
to
read
read
the
the
book.
book. Lies. You read a book from a liar. And you're
I'm
like,
a
oh yeah, that sounds about right.
no, 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 no. That's not how it went.
Yes, it was.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you right now. Heather's like she's gonna be the new Sunni that she's gonna try to like make me look like I'm just like some fool that just like reads commentary in a book and just be like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that seems legit. See, OJ did it. Okay,
No,
I got one. I got one. That's
no.
one. I'm like, keep a
Okay,
tally.
whatever. Listen, I'm gonna if you guys want to come up here and argue with me, I will put the link in the comments and you guys can come up here and argue whatever case you want to come and argue. I think right now we're going to let's start with OJ since you threw the dagger.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
You threw the
I mean,
dagger on the OJ.
I've been so into the Karen Reed. I'm a little fuzzy, but I got my points. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Heather is like she since yesterday she's
Good.
been like taking notes. She's got video clips for us.
It's
She's
so
got all kinds
good.
of shit. Yeah. So stay tuned for Karen Reed. Okay. OJ Simpson. Okay, so I don't think there's a person in this world that doesn't know about the OJ Simpson case, but just in case you don't, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis about it. And then I'm going to show you a video to give you a visual of how they're depicting this crime happened, okay? And I'm not arguing how the crime happened. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing who committed the crime and what the motives were, okay? So, and we're not going to go into like dates and stuff because I don't have that in front of me, but in the 90s, okay, OJ, he was accused of killing his ex wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman, in front of her Brentwood home in the late, evening time. Okay. So OJ and Nicole had been divorced. And Nicole was living on her own with their children. The children were in the home at the time of this murder. And there had been documentation of Nicole having arguments with OJ. All had been documented through the LAPD, and it spans over a couple of years. Okay. the interesting part is like when you look into all this stuff is Nicole's friends will say they knew nothing about
They're
what was going
shady.
on. They knew nothing about what was going on this entire time. Yet Nicole had a little box where she was keeping pictures and like diary entries and whatnot. Okay.
In a lockbox. Yeah.
In a lockbox. So one night, OJ and Nicole are at their kids' recital at school together. You know, they didn't come together, but they were there together. The families were there. Her mother was there. Um, and they attended. Everything was fine. Everything was cordial. Nobody reported anything funny or awkward going on there. And after the recital, Nicole and her family went to dinner at Mezzaluna restaurant um, in Hollywood. And Nicole's mother apparently left some reading glasses at the restaurant. So, as the report shows, the restaurant notified Nicole's mom that her reading glasses were left there. And Ron Goldman, who was a waiter at Mezzaluna restaurant and also a friend of Nicole's, offered to bring the glasses to her. Oddly enough, they didn't insist on him bringing the glasses, but that's how it was reported in the police report. Okay. So Ron goes to Nicole's house to allegedly return said reading glasses and is met as him and Nicole are standing outside, is met by what is reported to being OJ, an angry OJ. Okay. Apparently, OJ stabs them both violently, nonetheless.
Bad.
Solo. Okay. Solo. Now, mind you, Ron Goldman is, I think, like a jujitsu, guy. He's or something like that. He's into karate, jujitsu. He was a fighter. Okay. So OJ Simpson, who had never committed a violent crime in his life, violently somehow stabs them both. Okay. How one person, who did he attack first? We don't know, but how one person does all this and doesn't end up drenched in blood. He would have had DNA in his eyelashes. He would have had DNA all over his body. It wouldn't have been enough time because, mind you, 30 minutes later, he was hopping on a plane to Chicago. So in 30 minutes, okay, and if anybody's ever driven in LA, in 30 minutes, he killed 2 people, got rid of the evidence, got home, packed his bags, showered, and made it on time for his flight to Chicago. I don't know how. Okay. That's so odd to me. He had some wounds on his hands, but very little. He didn't have a whole lot of defensive wounds, considering Ron Goldman in the autopsy report was said to have fought like crazy.
Mhm.
Okay. Nicole's wounds indicated that she was held down because she did not have blood on her feet. So that indicated that she was instantly grabbed and put down and stabbed to the point where her head was almost severed.
So she had where they think that she got knocked out first, and then he went for, like, he came out, hit her in the head, knocked her down,
Mm-hmm.
and then went to him first.
Yeah. It's really hard to determine like what methods were used. I think that they kind of like zeroed in the time of death based on the dog. And that was the other thing, is the dog is what alerted the neighbors to something weird going on. But mind you, the dog did not bark it was not reported that there was any dog barking during the time that these murders are expected to have occurred, right? And they were saying, well, if OJ knew this dog, because this was a family dog, the dog wouldn't have barked, right? Now, I'm going to show you a little diagram of what I just explained to you. And then I'm going to go into my thoughts. Okay. So don't laugh at this because it is a computer simulation. So it's very like, It's old, and I know that you people here in the comments are like super techie, and you guys are like, "Oh my god, this is lame. This is not a TikTok video. This is a depiction of a murder." Okay, so it's a few minutes long. I'm gonna play it right now.
This is good. How they did this.
Yeah.
Engineers and forensics experts who were given unprecedented access to the Simpson-Goldman murder scene have assembled this scenario.
You're seeing an overhead aerial shot of the Bundy Drive geometry of this section of town where you can see there's a number of condos side by side. This area is where the murder occurs. In reality, it's covered up with trees. There are steps and a gate and a dirt area beside the front entryway and a patio. But we took the tree out so you could see that. Now we're going to put the tree in because the night of the murder, the tree provides incredible shade and it's extremely dark in this area. At this point, Mr. Goldman comes up to the gate, punches it, and rings the doorbell. Nicole Simpson leaves.
Okay, I'm going to pause it really quick. I want you guys to think about something because I read through the police reports and nobody knows how Ron Goldman got to this residence. Mind you, this was before Uber, okay?
How far away was the restaurant?
I think it was like a 15-minute drive. Everything in LA, this is why the timeline of OJ getting home and getting on the flight, to get anywhere in LA in 30 minutes is amazing, okay?
Yeah, well, OJ didn't live very far away from here, though. My grandma clocked it, okay? She went out and clocked the time. She did, because she was so into this when all this was going on. She drove to the condo and clocked it on how long it would take to go from there to his house. And it was pretty dang quick. I know she was into it.
She's my people. Like that's what.
She was. She took my mom with her, and that's what they went and did one day.
Okay, well, mind you. Okay, so that's OJ, but nobody knows how Ron got there. Okay, Ron did not pull up in his own car. So during that time, there was an Uber, so he took a cab or somebody dropped him off. Now, there's a lot of rumors on who dropped him off and why he was there, but one has to ask themselves, why would there not have been a car waiting for you if you were just merely dropping off reading glasses, right?
No, I for sure believe that there was something going on. Absolutely. Absolutely.
She was in a negligee and there were candles lit in her house and lighting was dark. It was like, come on. You knew the guy from Mezzaluna was coming to drop off your mom's glasses. Like who slips on a negligee and lights candles?
Lights candles and plays music.
Girl. Okay, let's continue.
Still doesn't mean he needs to get killed.
It doesn't, Heather.
He's trying to get some action.
I know, but we'll go down that road. Hold on.
Leaves her condo, and she actually leaves the front door ajar to come down and open the gate. There's obvious.
That's a booty call, okay? When you got a booty call, you're like, just think back to your booty call days. You're like, hey.
I gotta look that up because I don't feel like she was in negligee, but I'm gonna look.
You're like this. You're like, hey, I'm in the bathtub. My door's unlocked. And you're in the negligee laying in bed, right?
Our kids were upstairs.
So what?
Okay, true. You're not wrong.
Speakerphone, and she knows who her visitor is. Literally, the assailant has to come from the patio area, or the physical arrangements of the subjects make no sense. The way he attacks them immobilizes them both. He hits the right side of Mr. Goldman's face with his left hand and does so very hard. There's a substantial bruise on the right side of his face. Simultaneously, or very soon thereafter, we believe the assailant hits Nicole Simpson on the left side of her face with the butt of his knife, the pommel. And that knocks her right side of her head into the wall. We believe that knocks her out, which enables the assailant now to come down and deal with the number one threat, which is the young, able, and in pretty good shape Mr. Goldman. We postulate that he puts the point of the knife behind Mr. Goldman's head and actually uses the knife like a fork with his hand over the mouth to raise Mr. Goldman to his feet. The medical examiner has testified that that wound alone would have been sufficient to kill Mr. Goldman if nothing else had been done to him. It's obvious from the medical evidence that the assailant has a hand over Mr. Goldman's mouth, is having a talk with Mr. Goldman, and is emphasizing his points with the knife. The next fatal blow received by Mr. Goldman is a plunge right over his heart, hitting him in the left side of his torso. Another thrust again from the back, upwards under the rib cage, which is also a fatal thrust. And he takes a final knife blow in this side, another fatal wound. And we postulate he falls away into the fence. We see abrasion marks down the back of his scalp, which we believe is a result of falling down the fence. And then he falls over, and that is literally the position he is found by the police the next morning. With Mr. Goldman dealt with, the assailant is now free to turn his attention to Nicole. The assailant uses the same technique to lift her as he does Mr. Goldman. Hand over mouth, most important. It's clear, again, that the assailant is talking to Nicole Simpson. The reason we know this is before the final fatal cut of her throat, there are 3 other small cuts on her throat, parallel to where the fatal blow is going to be administered. It's clearly, again, torture. The final cut across her throat is going to be delivered with her head cocked substantially back. And the strength in that cut is enormous. And by that I mean she is going to receive a single slice to the front of the throat that is going to be so deep it is going to nick her spinal cord. That requires tremendous strength for a single cut. I don't care how sharp your knife is. The assailant notices he has lost his wool cap. And in the animation, he touches his head. Unlike our animation, which has got enough light level for you to see what's going on, in the real scene, this was very, very dark, and it's a dark wool cap. He's trying to feel for the wool cap. He can't feel anything through the gloves. He has to take the gloves off to feel for the wool cap. By taking off both gloves and not being careful about it, he actually ends up leaving a glove behind and not retrieving the wool cap. We speculate that something disturbed him in his search and cut it short, whether it be a dog barking or some neighbor's voice or something. When the investigators arrive, they're going to find Nicole's body in this position, Mr. Goldman's in this one. They're going to find the knit skull cap here. They're going to find a glove very close by it, Mr. Goldman's pager, and his keys are all going to be found in these relative positions. We believe this to be the most detailed reconstruction done to date. We hope it remains the standard by which all other reconstructions are judged by, even the prosecutions.
Of course, an animation from the
All right. So it's pretty convincing, and I thought it was a very good animation. What did you think about it?
Yeah. But I do okay. I do think there was 2 people. I do think so. I don't think he did it by himself. That's why when you're telling me about his crazy book he read, who did he call him? Charlie? Is it Charles? Charlie? He's a real person.
Yeah. So that was part of like his dream. So like that's how the book starts out, is OJ depicting how this murder happened, but then he wakes up from a bad dream. Okay. And this guy, Charlie, like part of that was like true up until the point like that OJ was like, we're going over there right now, when Charlie comes over to his house to say, hey, Nicole's, because you guys may not know this, but Nicole was addicted to drugs, to cocaine. She was a party girl. So that's where my theory comes in, is a couple things. So Mezzaluna, in my research, I found out that Mezzaluna in Los Angeles, and I didn't know that there was a location also in Colorado. Now they're closed. It's closed down. But
Colorado?
Yes. But
Is it by Mother God?
Oh my God, Mother God. We gotta do a show on that one.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's fair to everybody to do that to
them. Come on. No, but so Mezzaluna was a known drug hotspot in LA. Okay. The owner, if you guys watched the OJ, I think it was like on Netflix, the OJ documentary, they talked about, I forget the guy's name, but he was also a friend of Nicole's, and he had found Nicole and him at her house one time, and he was upset because the children were there and these two were like getting busy, and there was a big blow up. Anyways, that guy is the owner of Mezzaluna. Okay. So the whole thing about Mezzaluna being a drug hotspot is sus to me. Nicole has a drug problem. Her friend, Faye Resnick, had just gone to the Malibu Rehab Center for her drug addiction. Okay. Nicole's friend, Faye Resnick, also testified in trial and in an interview that Nicole was extremely paranoid at times. And sometimes she didn't know if it was because of the drugs or if there was something really going on. But she would often say to her, hey, I think OJ is going to kill me.
Okay, but OJ was known to stalk her. Like, that's well known that he would stalk her. So that's why I would think that paranoia is coming from.
But it was
he was always looking for her.
But it was well known by who said that? Nicole said that to her friends?
Everybody.
No. See, this is the thing. Like, if you would have read the book, Heather.
I didn't want to read the book. I tried to, and then I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, first off, it's already messed up that he wrote a book of, if I had done it, which is just awful. Because what about like his kids? That's their mom. And why is really, are you just that desperate for some money and attention? I think, is that what you think was going on? Why would he write that? That's awful. That's
okay.
Awful.
So yes, he was desperate for money and attention. And I think he was actually talked into it because the publisher,
like psycho.
It is like, hey, listen, nobody's saying that OJ was not a little cuckoo, right? I fully buy into the whole CTE, like brain damage stuff.
Oh yeah, he for sure had the football brain damage. Oh, I totally believe that. But that's where the rage comes from, right? Because that's what a lot of them. I thought a lot of the football players that have that have a lot of rage problems.
I think it's possible.
He never beat his first wife, but he beat her all the time and had horrible jealousy issues.
And see, he played college football, right? His first wife, she swears up and down OJ wouldn't hurt a fly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if there's anybody more intimate than that. Now, I will say
that kind of happen over time though as you're getting older with your I don't know much about it. I just know it does cause rage issues.
I think there's different levels to CT and how it affects some people. Some people have minor, issues with it, and some people might have more severe, but we'll never know because OJ didn't donate his brain to science for us to look at it and see if he actually had CTE.
Nope.
Okay, so Mezzaluna is a drug hotspot. Okay, Ron Goldman's mom, Patty Glass, was once married, but was divorced at this point, to one of the biggest drug kingpins in Los Angeles, which was weird because she had a drug connection, right?
No way.
Yes way.
Is that in the book?
No, not
okay. Where's this info?
Research. Okay.
I know. You dive.
I dive deep. Okay. I put my snorkel on and I'm just like, do.
She would text me. She's like, day number 20 of this OJ visit trial.
I know. Poor Heather and Angela. They were like, nobody was participating in my delusion, but every day I would be like, you guys, just like Heather's doing with Karen Reed, but like, yeah, I was obsessed. Okay, so mom is married and divorced from a drug kingpin, so there's that connection. OJ, and this was in the book, paid for all of Nicole's expenses since their divorce. Her house, gave her an allowance, blah 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 blah. Now, in the book, he says she was blowing through money like crazy because of her drug problem, right? And OJ actually says in the book, I wanted Nicole to move on. She would not move on. One day she hated me. One day she wanted to be back with me. It got to the point where she even was so desperate for more money that she tried to get OJ to commit tax fraud on one of their properties. Okay. And listed a funny way so that she could get more money out of the deal. Or I'm sorry. So she could get the money and not have to turn around and invest it in another property. Okay. So there's a lot of like motive there in my mind for this murder to have been caused by drug dealers more than, or not necessarily just drug dealers, but drug people, because the murders themselves were so gruesome.
That it was pure rage.
Pure rage.
Pure anger and rage. How he killed whoever killed.
Right.
How he did it.
Right. But like when he read about how he spoke about Nicole in his book, he really loved Nicole and he wanted He did. He said, I
You
really
really love
love
somebody that
Nicole.
you're hitting in the face and
We don't know that.
yes, they do. They arrested him for it. Oh my gosh. I told you
No.
about that. Yes, he did. He was
No.
arrested for it and was put on probation for that. Yeah.
There was one instance in the
They
book that he
found her
does that.
outside in a bush. Found her
Yes.
outside in a bush without her shirt on in a bra.
But
She was
but she didn't press charges. That was the one where Mark Furman showed
a
up and
lot
he
of
was like
abusive people don't. A lot of abusive people don't. They
like
don't. They really
Cassie,
don't.
like Cassie.
Cassie.
Yeah, she was abused, dragged down the hallway by P. Diddy
Oh, yeah, no.
because she had something to gain. That's what.
Well, because think about it. She's with a celebrity. Think of all the friends and the nice life she was how old when they got together? 18, 19? Like she was young when her and OJ got together.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yes.
That's all she really knew was
Yeah.
this lavish lifestyle that OJ was providing for her. I'd be scared
Yeah.
because I have nothing, right?
Well, that's her fault.
You dumb bitch.
You know, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you basically listen, Nicole, she was a little skeezer, okay? She knew when OJ met her, he talks about this in the book. He said, I'm older than her. I'm in a club. She starts flirting with me, and he says
Oh,
to
yeah.
her, I'm married. Okay. And she goes,
Oh, no. OJ was cheating on his first wife all the time. Yes, he was.
then
Yes,
why
he
didn't
was.
why didn't his wife say anything to that effect when she was called to testify?
What, that he cheated on her all the time?
Yeah, that wasn't the reason they broke up. The reason they
I
broke up was she didn't like the fame and the attention.
I knew it was for the fame, but he was cheating on her. That is talked about. But I
But
I
that's
didn't watch any of the trial. Like I've only seen like, the
girl.
documentaries.
Girl, you gotta trust me. You gotta trust me. Listen,
I agree with Stone 90. He said money, in my opinion. Absolutely. She probably was around for that. I mean, yeah, you get to a certain
yes.
lifestyle. Do you really want to lose? A lot of people stay in shitty relationships where they're getting cheated on, especially celebrities, right?
Yeah. 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 I just don't think, like, with as gruesome as these murders were, and the fact that she was the mother of his children, CTE or not, okay, the way those people were killed was the work of like somebody who has no problem killing. It was up close, it was personal, it was deep, okay?
Well,
It was
you
very
just said it.
calculated.
It's personal.
Yeah,
It's
but drug deals
personal.
are personal. Like you owe
Are
me
they?
money.
Are
Yes.
they?
Yes.
Well, I would think a jealous ex-husband who had major anger issues is a pretty good rage.
Mm.
Anger. He liked to control her. That was definitely well known. And okay, so here's my thing. This is why I think he did do it. Okay. And the
Okay.
biggest is if you follow the evidence,
Mm-hmm.
it's the thing that I can't get over is his dang shoes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those shoes there's only 200 of them made,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it is shown that he lied about it. He's like, I don't even like them shoes. They're fucking ugly. Like he denied that he even owned them, and he did. He didn't wear
Yeah.
them all the time. Then there was photos of him playing golf in them and all stuff like that. And the shoe matched the footprints in the blood.
I have a theory.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. How can you not? I mean, the same 200 pairs of shoes in the whole world, and he has the pair. Come on.
Here's the thing. Okay.
Okay, come on.
We all know the brothers like their shoes. Okay. Okay. We know brothers like their shoes. He probably had a ton of shoes. Somebody probably sent him like, a PR package or whatever the equivalent was back in those days. And he got the shoes and he probably wore them like, hey, CTE, he forgot he wore the shoes, right? We can use CTE for the murder. We can use the CTE for the forgetting the shoes. Now, this is the thing about it is OJ had a lot of friends in the LAPD. They were always in his house. Okay. There was one guy in particular, and I can't remember his name, but he was a very close friend of OJ's. He was friends with him going all the way back to college, started working for the LAPD. These guys were always in their house. This guy was so quick to turn his back on OJ, even though he was like, I know this man. There's no way he could have done this. I have been around him and Nicole. Like he swore up and down. And then he switched. And I thought to myself, the LAPD had access to OJ's house all the time. All the time. So for them to grab articles of clothing, for them to plant blood, when they did the little diagram and showed, oh, he like lost his Scully cap and like took off his glove to like pat around on the ground and find it. Okay, fine. Let's just say that happened. Then what? He gets back to his house and he's like, let me just throw a glove on the side of the house really quick. Let me just sprinkle.
It was behind.
Right. Like he's just like, let me just throw the other glove. Since I lost this one, like I don't need this other one. Come on. There's some sloppy framing work going on here. OJ, you can hear me. If you can hear me from beyond. Okay. Listen here.
OJ did it.
May you rest. Okay. I am here as your advocate. I'm not saying you were innocent, OJ. I'm not saying you were innocent.
No,
okay?
He was not.
I'm not saying you were innocent 100%. I'm not saying you were a good person. I'm not saying you were a good husband. None of that. I'm just saying I don't think you did this murder. Okay. I don't think you did it. It just doesn't make sense. There's been investigators who have gone back and investigated and they've agreed it just doesn't make sense. They wanted to frame this guy and take him out just like they did Bill Cosby.
No way. Bill Cosby? Stop.
Yes, because I think he's innocent also.
You think Bill Cosby is innocent? No way, girl.
Absolutely.
Really? See, I don't know enough, but there was a lot of them.
Yeah. There sure were. But do I think he like drugged them to rape them? No, I think he gave them Quaaludes.
He did. He does it.
No, but I think like during that time, Quaaludes were like normal. I mean,
maybe he learned it from.
It's possible.
Bill Cosby. Well, he not was, really. Actually, it came from Clive Davis, but that's a whole other thing.
Diddy was using that 2C. Okay, the 2C is
which
what
I've never heard before in my life.
Pink cocaine.
Have you ever heard of that?
No, I listen. Thanks to Jaguar Wright, I am like locked in.
I have dived down that rabbit hole, and it goes so crazy and deep.
Yeah,
and how everybody's connected. You're just like, my head hurts.
I know.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
How have we not run into her? She's like in Dallas.
She is. Yeah. I don't know if I want to.
I do. I feel like
I know you'd walk up to be like, tell me everything.
I'd be like, girl.
And then I'm gonna rebut everything you have to say and how it didn't happen.
No, I would just love. You know what? I'm gonna send her a message and just see if she responds. Be like, can we just get together? Because I feel like in my mind, I feel like me and Jaguar are friends.
Okay.
You'll support my delusion. Thank you.
So Cheryl, I do think she has like, a touch of crazy. That, or she's doing the thing. What's that kid who was on That's So Raven? That guy.
Oh yeah.
Is she crazy? Are they crazy? Or are they playing crazy so it comes off that way so they can like shove the truth in? You gotta kind of like, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I think those people, as my good friend P in the comments calls it, the Holly Weird, right? I think they were a part of Holly Weird. They've seen a lot of stuff. They're messed up in the head for sure because of what they've seen and what they've experienced.
For sure.
But is it just me? But like when I listen to Orlando Brown, I'm like, this dude's crazy. And then I'm just like, this dude makes a lot of sense.
That's how I feel about her. Same thing. There's times where I'm like, what is she saying? And then I'm like, oh.
You're like, am I going crazy that this is starting to make sense to me?
I'm like, are you making me crazy that I now understand what you're saying?
I felt like that with Kanye too.
You know what? I totally writ off. That's one thing that sucks is that all these people who are telling the truth, how they've made us believe that they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what's just been awful.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Now I believe a lot of stuff he said, and I had totally written him off as in that bag.
Yeah, I had written him off, and I know the world has written Kanye off, and yes, Kanye does some crazy sus stuff. Mm-hmm. But again, I think Kanye is crazy because of what he's experienced. And can you just imagine like taking what he's taken over the years and gone through over the years, like what it would do to you?
No, absolutely. Especially the ones who start out as kids and are going through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
you have to have I think all artists like that or have a form of they have to be a little kind of cuckoo, right? With the things that they can imagine and dream up and
Mhm.
perform, right?
Mhm.
Those are those best kind of artists usually come up with some pretty amazing music or art or whatever. I think you have to have a touch of crazy.
Do you think Kanye, what does he say? He's like a savant, like he's autistic and a savant. Do you think he is? Like
I
a
don't.
beautiful mind?
I don't. I don't know.
Heather doesn't want to commit because she's afraid of the backlash.
No, I'm not afraid of backlash. Girl, this is your I don't have a channel.
Oh, they're gonna come for you. Trust me, they're
That's
gonna
fine.
come for you.
That's fine. Go ahead. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's this amazing genius that he likes to pipe off like. I think he is talented, but
Yeah.
mm, that's all I got on that one.
Okay. This wasn't on the plan agenda, but R. Kelly.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about R.
R.
Kelly?
Kelly?
Yeah.
Girl, did you do all the Aaliyah stuff and everything?
Yeah.
It's so messed up. It's so
But
no.
do you think okay. Do you think he's 100% guilty
Yeah.
of keeping girls captive?
Yes.
You
I
do.
do. He's part of all of that with all of them, with Diddy, all of them. He was just the first one to be the scapegoat, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you still rock R. Kelly? I mean, did you ever listen to R. Kelly?
Oh, yeah.
Do you still listen to R. Kelly?
I do. Yeah.
Dude, loud and proud. Okay. I will be driving in my car, but I don't give a damn like what people think about me.
I mean, it does suck, but at the same time, you're like, it's really good. You know what I mean?
It's such
Like,
good music.
it sucks, and then you think about it, it's got like a bit of like a taint to it now because you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like that free R. Kelly.
Yeah. I mean, same with Diddy, right? Like Diddy be who he is, but he made some bops. You know
He
what I
did.
mean?
He
He
did.
made some
But
bops.
again, now it's got like a kind of a dark cloud over it where you can't like enjoy it the way that you could because now you know. Now I know way too much about all of that where it goes into like Tupac and him killing Biggie and all that stuff. Because now I'm like,
Oh Lord.
that's so messed up. And you had his mama come up on stage and you killed him. How can you do that?
I know.
How can you do? You had his mother.
I know. It's a
Come
dirty
on.
game. But dude, didn't Diddy say that he would kill his own mother that's what it said in the court documents that somebody who the first person, I forget what his name was, was it Gene Deal? It was the second person that established the lawsuit against him said that Diddy was quoted saying that he would kill his own mother
Oh yeah.
to protect his empire.
Heck yeah. That guy has sold his soul to the devil and
Yeah.
his lifestyle is more important to him than anything else.
How does
Everybody's
that
up for
happen?
grabs. He doesn't care. How does that
How do you
happen? How do you get there?
how do you get there?
Right. Just
Like
greed. I think greed, and I think you get to a level where you're just so disconnected from just any kind of morality.
it
You
has to be
have
that.
to. You have to.
Yeah.
You
It
kill
has to
your
be.
best friend, you're, child trafficking, you're beating up your women, you're drugging them. I mean, like, he's part of, if you want to go down with, and Clive Davis brought him in. Clive Davis.
Okay, talk about Clive Davis
Okay,
because
so
people don't know that angle.
Clive Davis actually was the one to kind of bring Diddy in, and everybody knows that Clive Davis, Whitney Houston, Michael
Mhm.
Jackson, all of that, right?
Yep.
And so he is like, we'll call him the Godfather. He's the starter of it all. Okay.
Mhm.
So Clive Davis taught him all the tricks because when Diddy was coming in, at least this is what I watched and looked into, he was nobody. He just kind of, again, it's one of those like where he just popped out of nowhere.
Appeared.
Who is this
Yeah.
guy? All of a sudden now he's super famous, right? And that was part of Clive Davis, stuff like that. And they think that P. Diddy and them were the ones that helped plan to kill Whitney Houston and murder her because at the
Mhm.
time, Whitney Houston was trying to get out of everything.
Right.
She she wanted all of her royalties
Yep.
for all of her music.
Yep.
And you know for a fact that you make more money when you're dead.
Yeah.
And these people, they don't want to give away their money. That's what the music industry is about. They don't want, it's not about you making money. You're the artist. Look at TLC. Look what happened with TLC. That was so messed up. They were broke.
Yeah.
And working like dogs. And working like dogs. The music industry is not for you. They're for
Left Eye
themselves.
dying, Left Eye dying from TLC.
Yep.
That's another sus situation.
That was so weird. She predicted that too. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is really crazy. And we know when people, when Heather says these people, okay, they're my people, the Jews. That's what Heather's talking about.
What?
Okay. Heather's talking about the Jews. My people, YouTube. Don't worry. I'm a Jew, 1%. I can't be anti-Semitic. Okay.
Sold to the Jews.
Yeah. So Clive Davis and even Jaguar Wright said when she was asked,
they asked who's the worst.
Who's the worst? And she didn't even hesitate. She said Clive Davis. The sentence didn't even finish. And she said Clive Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He killed Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson.
He sure did. Dude took all the greats. Prince. Mm-hmm.
And all of them were the same thing. Michael Jackson, he was only doing that concert to get out of debt that he owed the music industry. And they did not like that he'd been buying up the Beatles. Because that's how he's like, oh, this is how I'm going to make money and get away from you people.
Yeah.
Because he started buying all of those, what do they call them? Their catalogs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they were like, oh no, this guy's smart and figured us out. He's got to go. And if anybody's going to make a ton of money when he's dead, definitely Michael Jackson.
Yep.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so this is how you know how P. Diddy's involved. His head of security guy. Do you know about him?
Fahim Mohammed? Do I know about him? Hello.
Yes. Can you believe that? That's crazy. And he was a nobody. He was some random realtor dude. And now he's the head of Michael Jackson.
His first job as a security, Michael Jackson. Yeah.
No way. No way.
And I don't know if you were watching the show when I talked about this connection, but Fahim Mohammed, and you guys don't sleep on Fahim Mohammed, y'all, because if you don't believe me, and Heather, Candace even mentioned Fahim Mohammed. Mm-hmm. Fahim Mohammed is mentioned in the Diddy docs, in the court cases for Diddy. He was head of security for Michael. Kanye mentioned him. Okay. He's referred to as the cleanup man. He has connections in the LAPD. I'm telling you all the LAPD, hint, 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 OJ, corrupt.
I think Clive Davis was like, hey, this is actually a really good guy. I think he'd be great for you for your security.
Yeah.
And then like Diddy and him were like, this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
And you know what else after Michael Jackson died, look at how like he got all this money. Yeah. His like he had this big realty thing now. He buys that property that's right on the border, which is suspicious as.
And who's his partner? Michael Jackson's ex-personal assistant. Yeah.
Greedy people.
Sus. Okay. Well, I alluded to the Michael Jackson thing because there's a whole timeline. I watched that entire trial. Okay. I wanted to cry because
the one where the children, like he was that one, you watched all of his
murder.
Stuff?
Yeah. The trial of his death.
Oh, the murder for the doctor. Okay.
Yes. The Conrad Murray trial. Mm-hmm. I wanted to cry watching that trial because it made me so mad listening to it, listening to all the people get up there and say what a good father Michael was, what a good person he was, how exhausted he was, how they were working him to death. Okay.
Teeny tiny skinny. Oh my gosh.
Teeny tiny skinny. But the man was in tip-top shape. And what's crazy is when they did the autopsy, the doctor who performed the autopsy said he had a great physical condition. Mm-hmm. He was almost 50 years old, and he said he had the body of a 30-year-old.
All the dancing and everything, of course, that keeps, you keep your body going. You keep young.
Yeah. And I think that this assistant of his, I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but this assistant of his who was the one that was called first by Conrad Murray to say that Michael was unconscious. Dilly-dallied way too long. Okay.
Yeah. They took their sweet ass time.
That's right. And he called Fahim Mohammed. Okay. Instead of calling the ambulance, he calls Fahim Mohammed Fahim Mohammed, where's he? He's head of security. Where's he? Oh, he ran out to go to the bank real quick.
Oh, weird.
That's a little sus to me. Okay, you're
Was
supposed to
it
do
nighttime, right?
No, so
Okay, when was
Michael,
it? Was it during the day
it was
or
during the
something?
day because Michael had come back
Okay.
from rehearsal for his This Is It at like 11 o'clock at night. And it was just like hours upon hours of him trying to get
To
some
go to
sleep.
sleep. That's
And they
right.
kept giving him medication and giving him medication. And finally, Dr. Murray said, okay, I'm going to give you this propofol. I really don't want to. I've been trying to wean him off of it. This is what he says. And he gives him the propofol. And then he says, okay, now that he's asleep, I can go to the restroom.
Right.
So he goes to the restroom, takes Michael's urine from the bag where his catheter is at, and disposes of that urine. Now, that urine was very important urine because that was the urine that would have told the medical examiners everything that he had been given. But Dr. Murray got rid of that.
They can't tell by the blood? I thought they could tell by your blood and stuff like that, not just by urine.
Well, by the time they took his blood, there wasn't enough. The urine was going to be the more concentrated, up to date levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor goes to the bathroom, empties the urine, calls his girlfriend. His girlfriend testified to hearing people talking in the background. Okay. And when they asked Dr. Murray about that, he said, no, I was alone with Michael. It's just me and him. The only person that knew, because he had been checking in, that Michael was now asleep and Dr. Murray was away from Michael, which he should have never done because it was, told by experts that you never leave a patient on propofol unattended, was Fahim Mohammed, was the assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only two people that during the time Conrad Murray was away could have administered that fatal dose of propofol. So I don't even think Conrad Murray was to blame for this. I think he was the fall guy.
Well, that's why he didn't really get that much time.
Yeah, because they really couldn't prove it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So
and then they went and got Prince. Why would you go get the kid?
The kid, and Prince was like,
why would
young.
you bring his? Yeah, he won that. Why would you bring the son in? There's an emergency. He's on the floor. They're pumping him, trying to get his heart going. And you bring the son in?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, he had a catheter because obviously he was on propofol and he was, under sedation, so he had to have a catheter.
Mm-hmm.
But
propofol is used for people who are going in for surgery. That's what you get. It just
yeah. So
and that's what he was like. That was the only thing that I guess he said that would help him go to sleep because he's like, I just can't turn my mind off. I just just sad.
Yeah. Exactly. And the reason why they couldn't really determine the question was, did Dr. Murray administer the fatal dose or did Michael himself wake up? Because they said the amount of propofol he was given was not enough to really keep him asleep very long, the initial dose. So that's what they thought. Michael woke up and saw that Dr. Murray wasn't there and then stuck himself again. But they said there was no way because he wouldn't have been able to even complete the push of the syringe into his.
It would knock him out. And then it would be left in there, right?
It would have been left in there. And it actually, it was in the IV bag is where they found the needle. So Michael would have had to reach up out of a propofol haze and stab the IV. No, it just doesn't even make sense. It's so weird. And you look at this, Michael.
Yeah, he did.
Diddy. Yeah. The Michael, the Diddy, even the OJ that you don't want to believe how it happened. The Prince, the Whitney. How is there not more of an uproar about these celebrity deaths? They're all sus. They're all sus.
I think people are at a point where they're like, yep, sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of just now we're getting the confirmations of things that we already knew.
Yeah.
But then what do? Right? Look at P. Diddy. Look how much stuff is on him and where did he go?
Yeah. Well, because
nothing's come about it.
He's a Fed. He's protected by the feds.
Did you see her thing where she's talking about with the feds and everything, and then the ones that are they're the ones that run Hollywood and push all the stuff that we all get into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an age-old story that Hollywood has been using. The CIA has been using Hollywood to push propaganda, push messaging.
Mm-hmm.
The whole what was that drug? It wasn't lithium. God, I forget the name of the drug, but it was like the drug that they supposedly gave Marilyn Monroe. You know, that was
Oh,
another
yeah.
sus death was Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, she totally was killed. Everybody
Yeah,
knows that. Just like
yeah,
OJ. Everybody knows that
yeah.
he did it.
I like how you try to sneak that in. Wrong. Whatever
Oh my
happened
god.
with Ti and Tiny? They're still thriving, but see, that was another one. They were like accused of having sex parties in their house.
What do they call them? What did he call them? The freak what is it called that
Freak
TV show?
offs.
Freak offs. Yes.
Yeah, the freak offs.
Yep.
Dang.
Man,
Um,
I hope something does come out of it though. Because
you
it does
know,
need to come to a point. Because like this is just come on. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
and now see here's the thing. It's so harder nowadays to hide stuff. And that's what I
Mhm.
think it's why it feels so exhausting lately with everything because we have TikTok, Facebook, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
X, whatever. You can't hide it. There's cameras everywhere. Everybody has a phone.
Yeah.
So like shady cops, the celebrities, like think about if it like with OJ Simpson, right? If there was a ring
Yeah.
camera on that door, it'd be a whole different story. That whole thing.
Can
I
you
mean, it's
imagine?
just
An
it'd be
Uber, a cell phone with a tracking
think
like a
it's just the
smartphone?
cameras are on buildings now, like
Yeah.
it's a different world. And so I think now it's been there forever, but now it's
Yeah.
just really like we can really see.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why
Mhm.
I'm saying, like, the internet sleuths, like those people on TikTok that like, we're gonna talk about the Karen Reed case or the Micah Miller case, like, the people that go in there and just, like, dig in with all that's available to us now, I need
Oh,
those
man.
people to circle back to some
Man,
of these other cases.
if something ever happens to me, I want all of TikTok people
Oh
to
my
search
god.
for me, okay?
No, you
There
want
are
me. You want me.
you and, like, these women who, like, die like, that kid in is that what that kid that was up in Tennessee who disappeared? Do you know what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
wait, what kid? You're not talking about Amber Portwood, the teen mom, her
No, it's a
boyfriend?
guy. No, no, no. I don't know
Okay,
much about that, the teen mom
okay.
thing.
Well,
I
they
used to
found
be
him.
into that. They did find his body in the river. So he was drinking with his buddies,
Uh-huh.
and they have videos of him. You can tell that he was not drunk. He definitely was drugged, 100% at the bar. And they have videos of him walking, and he's just like, and at one point he like falls down. And what's sad is nobody helps, nobody does anything. He
Mhm.
goes to like a bridge, and then he just disappears. He just disappears. And so they're trying to find him, and these girl like everybody on TikTok was all about looking and pulling up cameras and videos and sending it to the police so they could be like,
Mhm.
I found this video of him. I found this. I found that. These two girls went to that lake and found his driver's license.
Shut up.
Yep.
How did the police miss that?
Exactly. That's a great question. That's a great
What?
question. That's why I'm like, I don't want the fucking police to help me.
Right.
You
You want Mo.
and the TikTok people.
Right.
They're
The
gonna find like
TikTokers.
and they did, and so sure enough, the police went, did that, then they found his body.
Yeah.
How did you not go search that? There's a video of him going underneath that bridge, and so what they think is there's a lot of crime, in Nashville.
Yeah.
So I think just something happened and then he got thrown into the lake. So
Yeah.
everybody was trying to find him. But how
Dude,
like, that's the thing, the police didn't do nothing.
the police. What the hell, police? Dude, like the Murdaugh stuff, the Murdaugh
Oh my
murders. Oh my
gosh.
god. The Gabby Petito. You guys, this is where Heather and I, this is where
Gabby
conspiracy,
Petito was the start,
the kickoff of our conspiracy
and
obsession.
Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp.
Oh no, we got oh my god. I want to cry thinking about Johnny Depp. I want to
Oh my
cry.
god, that was the most entertaining thing. I want another. I mean,
Like a
I'm
cat.
gonna give Karen Reed's in my second now behind Johnny Depp.
Really?
Yes, it's been really spicy.
Oh,
Just the level of corruption.
oh my god. What'd I
It's
tell
just,
you?
and then yeah, it's nutty.
Johnny Depp will
Poop the
forever
bed. Yes.
Johnny Depp will forever live in my soul, okay? You guys, didn't we make like cups or like t-shirts for our girls trip with like a Johnny Depp theme? Or was that just an idea? We
I think
never
that was
like
just an
executed.
idea. Mhm.
It was like a mega pint idea.
Yeah, the mega pint thing was huge, and I was like, "Oh my god, we have to have t-shirts. We
A
have to.
trial.
We need cups. We need something. A mega pint."
A
He looked
mega
so hot
queen.
when he said it like that.
Oh, he was so like, can we just talk about the sexiness? Like, I don't know what happened after the trial because he's a hot freaking mess now. He's like back to himself.
No. When he first started the trial, he looked like a hot mess, and people were talking
Oh,
about it. And then he came in and he started like doing his hair.
yes.
He looked nice.
Oh,
Nice. Yes.
listen.
You know who loves him? Our girl Angela. That is her man. And
Oh,
every time I go to Disney, because they have the Pirates of the Caribbean, they've added him into the ride. I'll take a shot and be like, "There's your man. He's still
right?
hanging out."
Oh, I know exactly. I've seen it. I'm like, dude, if it were me, I would have like hopped off that little boat and like grind it all up on that animatronic. Because listen, Johnny Depp is not even. It's not even my type. Okay, like really. But there was just something
He just
so
has really great charisma. There's just,
sexy. Yes.
especially when he was what is that? I did see a picture of him recently, and he lost some weight, and he looks nice. He looks good. He looks
Does he?
healthy. He looks
Okay.
healthy.
Can you
Yeah.
pull up a picture of him? I need to
Let me
see it.
see.
Like,
Let me
while I
see.
talk about how sexy he was during this
Yeah.
trial. Like, let me
Go
just say
ahead.
this. Even though, like, I imagined him smelling like cigarettes and alcohol, like every day of that trial, and just not good at all. Like in my mind, like I just, I was just like dying. Okay, like every time he talked, I was like his lips, the way he pronounces things. Like I don't know what was coming over me. Like I was obsessed.
I see. I just think no. I mean, his age is showing.
Okay, let's see. Throw it up here. Let's see the picture of Johnny.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. I can
Okay.
show you a really scary one. You want to see a really scary one? You're not gonna like it.
Sure. Yeah, let's
I'm
go
gonna do
through. Let's go through Johnny Depp pictures really quick because he's had some looks. Okay. Johnny
Okay,
Depp
I'm
through
trying to
the
figure out
years.
how. Let me screenshot this so it's like not this crazy.
No, just present.
Okay, hold on, but I gotta.
Heather's like a
Present.
computer genius. I think Gabby Petito is alive and her man not sure about those women. Gabby, she is not alive, girl.
She
They
is
found
no, she's
she did. She did.
girl.
We went up and down with listen, Gabby Petito, I think was our very first. Was it Johnny Depp was our first road trip or Gabby Petito?
I think Gabby Petito. She was first because
'Cause we've
you
been-
and Angela kept talking about it, and I was like, "What is this?
yeah.
What? Who?" And you guys were coming up with like that she was part of like the missing lesbians.
Yes, that she had like a that she like talked to her man. Like this was like a total boat theory because they had said she was like in this town and they were like staying at this like little campground and these lesbians like befriended them and I was like, oh my, like of course my mind starts spinning and I was like, oh my god, you know, Gabby had like a threesome with the lesbians.
Look, y'all. Anytime we go out of town,
Oh, yeah,
and we
tell
go
them.
somewhere, okay, the house, something with the area, there's a murder, somebody died, somebody stole something. Like I'm like, how does your brain get there? Like, where does it?
It always
Every
goes to
time.
the worst.
Every time. I'm surprised with the last house with the cellar. You weren't like losing your mind. And I even picked that house because I said, I pointed it out and I go, do you see this cellar? She's going to lose her mind.
I did lose my mind. Remember I was trying to like pry the door open in the snowstorm? Yeah. I was literally trying to lift this heavy door. Do you remember? And then I was like shining a light down.
Like the shot down, it was really creepy.
So freaking scary. You guys, the first thing I do, like Heather can say, okay, I go into a house and I'm like, you guys, what if like in the middle of the night somebody breaks in here and just like machetes us all? And the girls are like, why? Like, why do you have to go?
How did that? Like, why did that pop in your head? That was which one? The creepy house.
Yeah.
And you did like your little video where you like were outside my door. Doing that stuff.
I forgot about that. Dude, we stayed at a cabin that was like in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, Heather, hear me out for a second. I'm like, you're going to be sleeping in this room. She had a room that was like, had a door. It was like huge. And it was looking out into like the nothingness of the Colorado forest.
Went out to the porch. Yeah. Out into the middle of nowhere. Because we were in a field.
Yes. So Heather just like didn't get what the picture I was trying to paint. So of course I go outside. I pretend like I'm a burglar. I get a knife from the kitchen and I'm like standing at the door.
Oh my gosh.
You guys don't want to travel with me.
And just think like there's cameras. There were cameras on the house. I'm like, what do these people think? What do these owners think? They're probably watching this video like, what are these people? That house was weird though. There was instructions everywhere. Like, okay, have y'all been to an Airbnb?
They stole my steak.
They did steal your steak. I can't believe it.
We have
They
to
did.
talk about this.
Okay. So, okay, hold on. So, have you guys ever stayed at an Airbnb where there's instructions everywhere, like how this works, how that works, how the TV works, how the fireplace works? But
How to
these
put the dishes
people
away.
were extreme, extreme. Like when you opened up the cabinet, there was literally a picture of how they wanted you to put back their plates and the
Mhm.
cups, like a diagram. It
Right.
was, mm-mm,
So
no.
naturally, I was like, they're serial killers because like only serial killers would think like this.
Like if you're gonna do Airbnb, you cannot control what happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, geez,
Yeah.
it was
And
so
you
weird.
guys,
I literally felt like we were being watched the whole time.
the whole time. And you guys, I brought like my own because you guys know I'm like I eat the carnivore. I brought my own steaks, right? I literally brought like a steak for every day. So I knew exactly how many steaks I had. And we went on this excursion one day. I had one more steak left. I think no, two more steaks left. And they stole my steak. Like somebody came into the freaking house and they stole my steak. To this day, I even like Heather, tell them about the review.
Okay, so when we were driving back, I am a review junkie. Okay, so anytime I do anything, I review it because if I'm going to spend money, I want to make sure we're going to have a good time. Like I don't want to waste my money. And so I was putting on there just as a joke for the title of the review. They stole
Yeah.
our steaks. And so I want everyone to understand that at the time I was just got done with like knee surgery and I was on like
Pain meds.
hydrocodone, all this medicine. And I wrote in there as a joke and I typed out my message and then
Showed
just
it to
hit,
us.
I showed it to them and we were laughing about the name of it. And I didn't even think of it. Just hit submit.
Send.
And then I went, "Oh my God, y'all. I literally named this review. They stole our steak." That's going to forever live on these people's house. When people go and look at this review, they're going to be like, "Stole our steak." Like,
Did they ever respond to it? Are they
no,
like, what the fuck do
no,
you mean we stole your
no.
steak?
They stole our steaks. They didn't.
Oh
Oh my
gosh.
God, that was the best. That was the best. My stone
Dude,
butt just like,
we got some stories to tell for
it was
sure.
so great. That was so great.
Stone, you're talking about the Idaho murders,
Oh yeah.
Brian Kosberger.
I watched some of that, but I just couldn't get into I don't know, I just couldn't
I
get into
couldn't.
it.
It
It's
was too
just
messy.
so it's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that
awful. That
trial is going
guy
on now.
did they start? I know there's been a lot I don't know, Emily D. Baker, I don't know if you guys know who Emily D. Baker, so she's this amazing lawyer. She streams this is how I get all my info. She streams trials on her YouTube, and she was a lawyer in LA for like 20 years or so and moved up to
Yeah.
Tennessee. And so she started a YouTube channel so she could just, let people know how stuff works in, look through like a trial and stuff like that. And she's hilarious. She's super funny, cusses. She's great. Like you just want to listen to her talk. So she was doing stuff for that trial for those 4 kids, but I haven't really heard her talk much about it. She's moved on to like Karen Reed, and we're on to the Baldwin, like what's his it right? Alec Baldwin.
Oh, the shooting? I
Yeah.
thought that was already
Mhm.
determined. Or is there another trial?
Okay, there's another one coming up. So the first one was about the gun armor. She was the
The
main. That's
armor.
the one that got who got sentenced to jail.
Mhm,
And it's
mhm.
the sad thing is when you listen to it, everybody failed that lady who got shot.
Yeah,
Everybody did.
yeah.
And so next is Alex Baldwin. He is definitely going to trial. They tried to appeal it, but no. And that starts in I think in July, and she'll
Mhm.
stream it, and let's see how that goes.
Yeah,
Because they're accusing him of he wasn't supposed to point the gun at her, and he
right.
said he was improvising because he's doing a movie scene, which I makes sense. I don't think it's his fault,
Yeah.
but
Um,
I don't think like and I think like again I think everybody failed. They didn't do what they were supposed to. They were coming off of
mhm.
COVID. I think everybody had a little bit of lazy in them, and they were
Yeah,
trying to be cheap to
yeah.
save money, and they were skimping around things that they shouldn't have because this girl that they hired for the armor, they only hired her because her dad is a famous armorer that's used on a ton of movies.
Yeah, and he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it.
Um, I know, like, when Evan did the show Bass Reeves, because it was like a period film that took place during war, there was a lot of weapons on set. So there was there was multiple armorers on that one. But when they were rehearsing the war scenes, they did not use the weapons. Like they went through the motions of like how they were going to do a certain scene, but the armors were there to collect the weapons and then give them back as soon as like we were ready to shoot, right? And then as soon as you were done shooting the scene, then you would have to go to the armor tent, turn in your gun. Now these were these were real weapons, but they were like prop weapons, so they didn't have even the mechanism, right? But that's how serious armorers take their job, is even though that weapon does not have all the internal pieces to even be functioning, they never assume.
Right. No, you can't.
You know?
You can't. They're supposed to even check it, and triple check it before they even hand it over to you. And then they're supposed to announce that they have the gun and everything like that. And that one girl, she didn't do any of it because she was like, oh, I checked it before, I checked it right when we were leaving for lunch.
Yeah.
Came back. Well, I already checked it before I left. I don't need to check it again, and handed it over.
Yeah.
But the fact that there were even live rounds that were mixed up with the dummy bullets, how did those get there? Like, she said that they got mixed up in a bag, and when you shake them, it rattles. That's how you know it's a dummy bullet, and you're supposed to take it and shake it. Yeah, no.
This guy right here, just know if he clicks on our link, I think this is the guy, he likes to show his penis. So if you see it,
oh no,
if you see it below, just know, like, please, mister, if this is you, please do not.
Can you not block him? Can we block him?
I can block him. Yeah, she's
He'll
like,
just go make something else.
He'll come into something else. So please play nice. No, not a quickie. Please play nice. And I won't block you. We don't want to see your penis. Yeah. Okay.
We're here to talk about conspiracies.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, that trial I'm interested to see what happens with Baldwin. Like I said, I think he was neglectful, but I don't think that he was purposely trying to get this girl murdered. No, I think it just honestly people were lazy and didn't do their jobs. I think that's what it really came down to.
Yeah. And there was like a lot of like budget constraints and things like that. I know there was a lot of those issues.
They were cheap.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're going to be, that whole movie set, stuff like that will be what they'll teach forever of what not to do on like a movie set.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Alec will do actual time, just considering, because he is not a criminal, that type of thing.
I don't know how they're going to prove that he
did it intentionally.
Right.
It's hard to prove intent.
Yes. It's just because he did a pretty common actor thing where you kind of improv, right? You're in the moment of acting and you just pointed it.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, well, I can trust my armorer. She's, she's supposed to be doing her job. So why would I ever think? That's why I'm like, I don't know why they're doing that. Now, I do think the armorer, that girl, her boss should have been. He was just as neglectful to her, and then threw her under the bus for sure and they all took plea deals.
Yeah. I think it was caught on camera, Stone.
It was caught on camera. You can watch it. It's awful.
Yeah, it is pretty awful. I mean, obviously, like, you don't see like gruesome stuff there, but like you can see the moment that it happens, for sure.
Because the bullet went through that girl, and then another guy, because it went through her to another guy, and he survived. And he was so sweet. Yeah, I watched that. It was that was yeah, whatever on the gun, he wanted her dead. Why though? I guess that's what I'm just like, why would he want her dead? Yeah.
Alex is the one that put the live round in the gun.
But he didn't touch the gun until it was handed to him.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. But why would she was just a like just to make the movie look a specific way, right? So why would, and she
cinematographer
didn't even really know him.
Yeah.
Wasn't hired by him or nothing. So why would he want? Yeah.
There's a good 60 Minutes episode on that whole thing that I highly recommend you guys watch, because it's very informative. And it talks about all that stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Are you going to show this Johnny Depp photo? Because he looks.
Yeah. Where did you send it? To my text?
No, it's I hit share screen. You just got to post it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. I forgot.
Girl.
Ooh, yikes. Whoa. Let's put that on a full screen.
Look
Hold
at him.
on.
There's a whole bunch of them lately.
Oh, no. See, that just ruins. Okay, wait. There's a fine picture. Hold on.
Hold on. I think this one's
Oh.
mostly. When was this? Move it up.
Oh, see, the little belly, I can even forgive the belly and the man boobs. I don't know.
Girl.
I'm here. That no, come on. Come on.
He looks
Oh,
a, he looks a little. He's looking a little roughish.
wait,
I
wait, wait.
swear, I saw a good photo of him recently.
Oh, wait, click on the trial picture so people understand. Look at that. Ooh, that little slick back pony.
See, he looks good when he's put together. You know what? What is the one? Who is it? Dior that he does the perfume?
Yes.
Is it Dior? He looks
Sauvage.
Johnny Depp. He looks really good. He had a new video come out. He looked really good in that one.
Wait, I need to play the Sauvage commercial. Hold
It's
on.
so good.
It's so hot. I'm sorry, you guys. You have to like live with us through the Johnny Depp Sauvage commercial because I just need a little Depp hit, a little Depo shot.
You're like, I gotta fix what I just saw because that's not Johnny Depp.
Okay, here goes. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, bye, penis man. Thanks for coming in.
How old is Depp now? You know what? I think he's gotta be in his 60s now. He's 61. It's the walk is that's where it's at.
Dude, that
charisma.
walk though.
See, if he looked like that all the time instead of what we saw,
Oh,
I know 61, isn't that crazy?
he's 61.
61.
What?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And the fact is, you know that guy. He's done so much drugs and so much drinking
yeah.
his whole entire life. Is that
Is
his
this
new
a newer
one?
I don't know. I think this is an older one. It says it's 8 years old.
Oh, there's a newer one that just was within the past year or so that they came out, and he was like thanking them for supporting him because they were the only ones that kind of stuck with him because everybody else
Yeah.
dropped him, right? Because of Amber Heard.
Yeah.
And they stuck by him.
Did
and
he
then
ever
then
explain?
offered him another $50 million.
Oof. Wow. And he denied it?
No, he needs the money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Listen, did he ever explain why he has a case of the Madonnas and has like an English accent?
You know, I've heard a lot of people when they spend you spend so much time there, and he basically he doesn't live in the States. He hates the States. And you're there all the time and you're around people with all these accents, I think you just start kind of picking it up, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
mimicking, it just kind of happens. And he's an actor, mimics, right?
Yeah. Is this the new one? This was like a couple months ago.
Was it? Yeah, it's like really quick.
The walls of my vagina on fire. See, I can talk about this stuff with you. Sudi's like, okay, I don't even see Johnny Depp.
God.
Why am I even watching this?
He's not even in it.
Oh,
Oh, Karen Reed.
ahead. Oh, Karen
Oh,
Reed.
God.
That's our next topic.
Y'all.
You ready to get into it?
I have never seen something like, okay, there's corruption, and then like the corruption that's like just in your face that you're like, how is this even in trial? I don't even, it looks ridiculous. So this was what happened today. They even excused a juror today. They had to shut down the courtroom this morning.
Oh my
So, well, the judge is really sus. She's, yeah. She didn't tell, you're supposed to tell people who are like recording and putting it on film, to put it on TV and stuff like that the jury's coming in because you can't show their faces, right?
Right.
She didn't do her job, didn't tell them. One of the juries walked in and got on their face, so she shut down the whole thing. Then she put it to recess and interviewed like 3 or 4 of the jurors, and one of them had to excuse himself because they were talking about they're not supposed to talk to each other except for like how's the weather? Or we had turkey for, a turkey sandwich for lunch.
Right.
And I guess that person had mentioned, like, why are we in this trial? Why is this even happening? Because there's just so much reasonable doubt. Why are we here? So they had to excuse him this morning.
Okay, so take a step back because we have to assume there's some
Yeah.
people who don't even know what you're talking about. So
Yep. You want to show them that video? Yeah.
Yeah, let's show the video really quick, and so you guys can see what Karen Reed looks like and what this trial is all about. It's just a couple of minutes here. I'm going to show you, not the whole thing, and then Heather will jump into this story for y'all. Here we go.
Outside this courthouse in Canton, Massachusetts, supporters swarmed around Karen Reed, charged with murder in the January 2022 death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Reed has strenuously denied the allegations.
I did not kill John O'Keefe. I've never harmed a hair on John O'Keefe's head.
Her defense, bare-knuckled and bold, is making national headlines. Her lawyers alleging in court documents that a fellow police officer was involved in O'Keefe's death and colluded with other people in a cover-up. You're alleging that law enforcement officials in the state committed murder and that they're covering it up. Why would they want to be involved in this?
Because he's dead. I think things went too far. It was late. There was alcohol involved, but they're all family. And there's many of them involved.
After posting bail, Reed has spent much of the past 18 months in and out of court awaiting a trial date.
And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Prosecutors allege that Reed hit O'Keefe with her car after getting into an argument earlier in the day, leaving him to die in the middle of a snowstorm in January 2022. But Reed says she had no reason to harm her boyfriend.
I would call him the patron saint of Canton. He was just very selfless, frugal, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone that didn't care for John.
The couple first dated in their 20s and reconnected more than a decade later in the middle of the pandemic. So how did you meet up again?
He had reached out to me on Facebook and he said, "Hey, blast from the past, how's things?" And when I saw his picture, his profile picture was with several young children. And then it triggered my memory that his sister and his sister's husband had passed away. And he told me, yeah, I have the kids now. I admired that. I thought that was amazing.
Soon, Reed says she became part of the family, often sleeping over at O'Keefe's house and helping take care of the kids.
He would go to work and I would stay with his niece and nephew. All of the breaks that the kids had, we did something.
But their relationship also had its struggles. Reeves says O'Keefe had been relying more on her to take care of the kids and that he criticized some of the decisions she made with them.
We had an argument on New Year's Eve. We were away on vacation and he became incoherently drunk. And I ended up ringing in the new year with his niece and nephew. John didn't come back to our room till after 3 a.m. So that was rough. I felt very much taken advantage of. He apologized profusely for what happened on New Year's Eve. And he said, if you can't get over it, then you need to spend some time at yours. I can't keep apologizing. I don't want to keep rehashing this.
A few weeks later, they were invited to meet up with some friends at the Waterfall Bar in Canton. And there, they ran into Brian Albert, a fellow Boston police officer who Reed says O'Keefe looked up to. Albert had led the city's gang unit before commanding the Fugitive Apprehension Team. It was the elite squad responsible for taking down some of the city's most dangerous criminals and featured in the 2013 TNT show, Boston's Finest.
1 minute we're walking around, everything's fine, and then 1 minute it's not fine.
Both times I met Brian Albert, he seemed like the type of person that you'd be surprised he's out socially because he doesn't seem like he ever wants to be there.
But at the bar, Reed says there was an invitation to continue hanging out at Albert's home.
I said, can we make sure we're welcome here? Nobody extended the invite to me. I didn't hear the invite extended to you.
They drive to the Albert's house. What happens next is disputed.
So I pull at the foot of the driveway. It's snowing. John has no coat on. It's windy. So I drop him off. He goes up the driveway and approaches the side door. And as I see him approach the door, I look down at my phone.
Reed says after about 10 minutes of waiting in her car, she became irritated that O'Keefe still hadn't gotten in touch with her. and she drove back to his home where she continued calling him before she says she fell asleep around 1:30 in the morning. She then says she woke up before 5 a.m. He still wasn't home. She then started canvassing the neighborhood.
Just gonna drive around in the 2 square miles that we spent the preceding night.
After 20 minutes of unsuccessful searching, she called John's friend, Carrie Roberts, and Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert's sister-in-law, who was also at his house the night before. The three women together now headed to Albert's home.
How soon was it when you pulled in there that you saw John's body?
Immediately. And what struck me when I saw him was his mouth was open a little bit and his eyes were shut, and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face.
O'Keefe was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. He died from blunt force trauma and hypothermia. And it wasn't long before Reed became the #1 suspect. Authorities say they had noticed a cracked taillight after they seized her car.
I had told both Jen and Carrie that I cracked my taillight. I said, I just hit my car on top of everything, but I didn't look at the damage. And both women said, it's cracked. It's cracked. Calm down. You cracked your taillight. You're okay. Let's go look for John.
But according to police statements, Jennifer McCabe told authorities that while they were looking for O'Keefe, Reed stated, "Could I have hit him? Did I hit him?" And when O'Keefe's body was discovered, first responders who arrived on the scene say they overheard Reed make other statements.
Firefighter said that you said, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him."
I said, I hit him. It was preceded by a did and proceeded by a question mark. What I thought could have happened was that did I incapacitate him unwittingly somehow, and then in his drunkenness passed out?
When you walked out of the bar, how many drinks had you had?
I had probably about 4.
The Commonwealth says that you had 9 drinks that night.
She did.
The prosecution says.
I don't believe they're saying I wasn't in my right mind.
They were saying you were intoxicated. Is it possible that you might have hit him unwittingly in your admittedly very large SUV?
No, not possible.
3 days after O'Keefe was found dead, investigators arrested Reed for manslaughter. She was eventually indicted on second-degree murder. Investigators reported they found fragments of broken glass on the rear bumper on Reed's vehicle, and that a broken cocktail glass was found by what appeared to be patches of blood near O'Keefe's body.
The victim, Mr. O'Keefe, is last observed on surveillance video with a cocktail glass in his right hand. Same arm that's injured, the same type of glass that is then recovered from the bumper of the defendant's car.
In court documents, the prosecution also claims that Reed's blood alcohol level could have been between 0.13 and 0.29%, above the legal limit of 0.08. In addition, they say pieces of Reed's taillight were found on the scene the day O'Keefe's body was discovered. More fragments of that taillight were found the following week, according to Canton police reports, after the snow melted, which revealed more at the scene. But Reed's attorney, Alan Jackson, has a different theory about how those fragments of taillight got there.
That attorney?
Were placed.
Girl.
First of all, this is about as sus as the O.J. Simpson.
No. You don't know all the details yet.
All right.
Hold on. You can't sit there and put this in the O.J. Simpson trial. You can't. Okay. First off, what do you think about the lawyer, though, who he's represented before? Karen Reed.
Oh, yeah. So tell the people who this guy's represented before.
Karen Reed's defense, one of his defense attorney, he represented Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein. And so when he heard about what was going on, he looked more into it and saw all the crazy things that just were not adding up when it came to this investigation by the Canton Police Department, which is now under investigation by the FBI. They're under investigation. And the lead detective has been removed. The lead detective who was on this case for Karen Reed has been removed because of what they found, what the FBI found. So it's
okay, yeah. But you think she's innocent?
Okay, I do think I think their relationship definitely was toxic, but I don't think she backed up. So they're accusing her that she backed up at least like 24 miles an hour, hit
Uh-huh.
him, and then just left.
Is that even
And
possible to back up that fast?
in a blizzard. There was a blizzard going on that evening, which I
Right.
guess up in Boston, when there's a blizzard, that's the time to go out drinking because everybody went to this watering hole place, and
Yeah.
then they all went back to this guy. His name is Brian Albert. They went
Yeah.
back to that house, and they were going there to meet up with them to keep partying. She didn't want to do it anymore, but she was dropping him off and to go home. They did get into an argument, but I don't think it was anything where she's gonna back up at 24 miles an who backs up at 24 miles an hour? Who does that? Who
I
does
don't
that?
know, but, like, see, this is my thing. It's like potato, potato, like, do we know what the argument was about?
Um,
She
you know
thought he
what?
was flirting with somebody at the bar.
I don't remember what it was about, to be honest. I can't think of what it was
Yeah.
about. Now
'Cause
I
you
know.
already wait, let me just tell the people, I told
Good.
this to Heather earlier, my theory, okay, just off the bat, not knowing anything about this case. I have a theory about women who have overplucked eyebrows. They have something crazy. There's something not right about them.
Uh-huh.
So, without knowing too much about this case, I'm going to say she's lying.
Okay, that's fine. Now let me tell you the facts.
Okay.
Let me tell you the facts. Okay. Here's the thing that's super suspicious, okay? These
Mhm.
guys are all cops, okay? Everybody involved in this is either a cop or related to a cop, and they're all friends. This
Mhm.
is like a small town. She just got crazy eyes. Like I said, I do think she's like that pretty, like when they're like the girls that are like super pretty, they're
Yeah.
crazy. They're
Yeah.
crazy. I think she's like that where she's just too much, but
Yeah.
not to where she's killing people kind of crazy. I
Uh-huh.
believe that for sure. So these guys are all cops. They go to Brian Albertson, they say he never came into the house, that he never was
Uh-huh.
inside. Um, what's weird is now, like how they were talking about where she went and picked up those two other women and they came, right? And they found
Uh-huh.
him in the snow, and she immediately jumps out of the car, runs
Uh-huh.
over, checks on him, and starts giving him CPR, and she's like freaking out, right? There is
Uh-huh.
a video that they show of like, so she's screaming at the one of the ladies, call 911, call 911. So they played the 911 call, which was it's the weirdest 911 call I've ever heard. They don't
Do you have
ask.
it?
I don't have it. I can find it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, like while you're
But they
talking.
don't ask her the name, the location of the house, like what, like all the kind of questions you would think that when you're calling the police, what are they asking you?
Uh-huh.
Ma'am, what's happening? Give me your address, that. And what's really weird is the other two women are extremely calm, really calm. And
Other
so
2
when
women that are
the
there.
women that are there, and if
Uh-huh.
this is you just found your friend in the snow you've known for years
Uh-huh.
that you just saw a few hours ago, and you guys are calm, and she's the only one freaking out.
And did these other 2 women have any connection to the PD?
Yes, they were in the house at the party.
But they're not, like, with the police department
I
or
think one of them is married to,
Uh-huh.
so this is where it gets all, like, intricated. You have Brian and Nicole Albert. Those are
Mhm.
the owners of this house that his body was at.
Mhm.
Then it goes down to Chris Albert, which is her brother, who
Mhm.
married to this girl named, I believe her name is Lisa. Then you have, like, they're all friends of police officers, high school friends. Like, they've all known each other
For a long so
for a
they're
long
all
time. There's
they
a
have a deep
history there.
connection.
It's a small town, right?
Mhm.
Everybody
Mhm.
knows everybody. Everybody knows each other's business kind of stuff, right? Um, so the first police officer that shows up on there, you get to see the video, from the dash cam, and the two women are standing there talking to the police officer, and she is just walking back and forth in and out of frame, freaking out. She's panicked. Like that's her boyfriend, this man that she loves.
Mhm.
And everybody is so calm, and everybody knows who this is. Because he's also like a town hero because he took
Yeah.
in those 2 kids.
Right. Like
He's
she was
very well
saying, a
known and
saint.
loved, like,
Yeah.
which is awful for those kids because not only did they lost their parents, now they lost their uncle. Like, how awful is that?
Right.
So, it's bizarre how calm everybody is, but here's the really weird part. If there's a bunch, okay, If you see that there's a bunch of police officers outside and there's lights going on, what does everybody go and do?
What, during a party, or you're
No,
saying
no, no, no,
after
no. Like if you were at home, it's 6 because this was like 6 in the morning, 6:30 in
Right,
the morning,
right.
and there's a bunch of police officers and then a fire truck and an ambulance is outside your yard. What would you do?
I would be like, "What the hell?"
You'd be like, "What the hell?" And you'd go
Yeah,
outside, see what's
right,
going on.
right.
The owners of that house never came out.
Okay, well, that's sus.
And they are police officers.
Hmm.
You don't come outside? Why would you not come outside? These
Yeah.
are people you know.
I mean, I go outside when it's not even outside my house, like, it
They
could be
didn't
up the
open
street.
up the door until one of the detectives went up there.
And did they say why in the trial? Have they testified yet?
Oh, they said they were sleeping.
Oh, hell no. You hear
No,
all
you're
those
not.
police officers, you're gonna hear all
There's
that
no way.
commotion.
There's no way. So here's the other thing. 4 months after this happened, they sold that house. They
Mhm.
repaved the basement before they sold the house, and they got rid of their dog. And I bring up the dog because
What?
yes, I'm telling you, girl. I bring up the dog because one of his injuries, which I have a photo of it, um, it's it looks like a dog attacked his arm. And their dog at this house, at the Alberts house, had previously already attacked 2 other people.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So kind of what people are thinking is what happened is they're covering for their son, Brian Albert's son. They think that they got into an altercation inside the house, like a fist fight, and then the
Mhm.
dog attacked him and
Mhm.
like knocked him out or whatever. And they threw him and dragged him out and just left him there. And then he died from hypothermia and some blood loss. And they just left him there.
That's the theory.
That's the theory, or that he did probably, or he died inside and they drug him out and then put it on Karen Reed. That's what they say.
But what about the glass?
Okay, so the glass, so that's where Trooper Proctor comes in.
Trooper
Trooper
Proctor.
Proctor. Yeah, see, exactly. Cops would definitely wake from that. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? And why would you get rid of your dog after all these years you've had it and sell your house you've lived in and
Right.
repave the basement and not come out? That's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. And the other thing is when they went to collect all these, people's phones,
Yeah.
they all got subpoenaed that they had to turn it in by a certain day.
Uh-huh.
The majority of them got rid of their phones.
But you could pull phone records. You don't need the physical phone.
Not always. Not always, because a lot of times they'll take the phones, like they send them over and there's like a machine that pulls all the data off of it.
Okay, that
Yeah.
that right there is sus. Like, come on. You guys are all
Even
getting
one
rid
of
of
the
your phone.
guys, even one of the police officers who helped transport her car to the police station, because they did eventually like bring it in.
Yeah.
He oddly enough got rid of his phone the day before, took it to a what's it called? To a military base. Dropped his phone in one place, took out the SIM card, cut it, and dropped it into another trash can.
Okay, so when they're brought up on the stand, do they
They
ask,
brought
"Why are you guys doing this?"
He said because he'd been feeling threatened from all of the online hate and he didn't want people to get into his stuff. But they're like, "You're supposed to turn it over the next day though. Why would you get rid of it?" He goes, "Well, I got a new phone and I turned that over. But your SIM
What?
card's gone and you wiped your phone."
The new
And
phone
you
is
know this.
useless.
You guys are all cops. You know the rules. You know
Mm.
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what Stone's
Come
saying too.
on. Come on.
Okay, I agree. Now, but the whole story about, like, the dog attacked him and, like,
I'm gonna show you his arm. Let me show you his
yeah,
arm. Okay.
but still, it's like, okay, couldn't you have just said, like, "Oh my god, it was, like, an accident," they would've killed the dog, that would've been, like, the worst of it.
You would think. You would think,
Was
right?
there another motive that they would wanna get rid of him, or was it
They
that he was, like, a goody two-shoes, everybody hated how perfect
I don't
everybody
know.
looked
They
at him?
said there was some beef with this son of theirs, and they were all drunk.
Mhm.
And um, his injuries don't match up to what you would get if you got hit by a car. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
then, so I got a picture of the arm. So just fair warning, guys. It's not super gruesome, but I mean,
If you have kids and you're watching or something, look away.
yeah, here you go. Okay, you can post it up when you're ready.
Now this is his arm.
This is his arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the full screen there.
There we go.
Look at Heather. She's such a pro.
So they're saying that's from him getting hit by the car.
Yeah.
There was no glass damage. Like, those are cuts, those are scrapes. And then those are like, if you look at it, it's like puncture wounds, like teeth puncture wounds. And I found a photo of a guy who'd been attacked by a dog, like that's still alive.
And
to kind of compare the difference, which
you want to pull that up?
Yep, I'll pull that up. This one's a little more bloodier, guys, so fair warning. You can kind of see scratch marks, puncture wounds. And that's his right arm. So if a dog comes and attacks you, what do you think you're going to do? Right?
Yeah.
You're going to latch onto that.
Right. Or you're going to like use that as your like protection, right? Like put your arm up.
Then they said that some of his wounds were like black eyes. And the kid had some knuckle damage. There was a photo of the kid with scrapes all up on his knuckles. And you know what his excuse was? When they put him up on to question him about the picture where his knuckles are all scraped up, he goes, "Oh, I was, it was really icy out and I caught myself, like when I slipped and fell and I caught myself like this." Who the hell catches themselves when they fall by their knuckles?
Right.
You catch like that, right?
Right.
So and it's one hand.
Yeah.
That's all bloodied and bruised. Suspicious. How old is the kid? You know what? I think was they home from college? Because this was like,
Oh, he's not like a kid. He's
not like a kid. No, he's like he could go drink. So he's got to be in early 20s.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. So that's weird, right?
But in the autopsy, can't they tell that those are like?
That's the problem. This is where the problem comes in. Nobody did their job on this.
So yeah, see, this is another situation of like the police are like using all their resources.
Yes. So when they did, so when you're doing an investigation, you're going to go pick up evidence. What do they normally do? You put them in bags, right? You put them in bags. They put them in bags upon bags when it comes to individual pieces, right?
Yeah.
They put them in solo cups.
Stop.
Solo cups. They put
what the hell? Did they go to like the Mayberry School of like crime scene investigation?
I don't know. Everyone's like, "Hey, do you have anybody got any cups we can put this stuff?" It is definitely a cover up, girl.
See, that's just like with the OJ. Instead of like putting tarps on the bodies, they went inside the house and grabbed blankets from inside the house that would already have OJ's DNA on it.
That's exactly what it is. It was red solo cups. It had OJ's DNA on it on the sheets.
Well, yeah, they took blankets from inside the house, and if OJ had ever been in the house and sat on the couch,
I wonder if but what if they were just rushing to try to cover the bodies because it was just so gruesome, and as soon as it got out to the media, everybody's going to rush because.
I mean,
that'd be my only like.
They were, but they were like, you could have grabbed a trash bag from the house, you could have grabbed a sheet from the linen closet, but they grabbed blankets from the couch where people sit. So
solo cups, they put like multiple pieces of evidence in solo cups. And when they delivered it over to the evidence people, first off, they never logged when they would deliver things. You're supposed to log anything that goes in and out. Everything. There's not really any check-ins or out. A lot of evidence from Trooper Proctor, who's just an awful person. He was the lead detective on this case.
Does he not have a first name? Why do we call him Trooper Proctor?
I don't know. Michael Trooper Proctor. Okay. Because it's fun to say Trooper Proctor.
Oh gosh.
So so when you're a lead detective, you're supposed to say like pretty biased, right? Like you have to. Not this guy at all. He was already texting his friends within less than 24 hours of some pretty horrible things that he was saying about Karen. Like, and he talking about like, well, isn't the cop gonna get in trouble? Like, did they talk to the cops? He's like, oh no, he's a cop. Like, just like, no, he's a cop. She's gonna get it.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
See, Suni would love this because she's like, she's a fiend for like when cops don't do their job right.
Everybody in this for sure. That's why the whole police station is being investigated.
So how is that not like just based on how they handled the evidence? How is that not like an automatic like this is a mistrial? Like we can't even try this correctly.
That's a great question. So the judge knows the Albert family, and they tried to get her dismissed, and she wouldn't do it because she's like, so this is what's crazy. Brian Albert, the owner of that house, his brother, Chris Albert, when he was 23, was in a hit. He hit this immigrant student, hit him, killed him, and drove off and didn't turn himself in for about 30 hours. And the judge's brother was his lawyer, and he only got
Oh.
6 months for that manslaughter.
Oh, wow.
And she would not leave. She wouldn't step down. She's like, nope, I don't have involvement with this family. But like as you're listening, the judge, she's way more strict with Karen Reed's lawyers
And
than she is
see,
with this, for sure.
that in itself is like a misjustice because, you know, when you go to like jury, when you get pulled for jury, they always ask you like, do you have any relation to anybody in this trial? Like even
Do you
through
know
another
them?
person. Yeah. And that automatically removes you from even being able to be on the trial. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, like, just to get back to like the testing of the blood and swabs and stuff like that, they never tested it for animal DNA.
Oh.
Why not? Why
Right.
not? Why not?
Right.
And then when the girl was testing the solo cups, she only tested one because they said she just assumed they were all the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Like you
What?
just sit there and you're like, how
Are they,
can are y'all idiots? Like I'm not even in this, and I even know. Do you know
are
what I
these
mean? Like,
are these DEI hires? Is that what's going on?
did y'all just watch a YouTube video and then you got a degree? I mean, like,
Right. Did you guys go to our same crime investigation school?
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then another
Wow.
thing, so a bunch of ring footage was deleted, and Trooper Proctor took Karen's phone without a warrant, and John O'Keefe's, the guy who was killed, took his phone, and he was just sitting in the police department scrolling through her phone. You can't do that. And he was and that's when he's like, I'm going through her phone. He's texting his buddies and his two bosses in like a group chat. I haven't found any nudes yet. Called her some pretty rank things.
Wow.
What is it? What did he talk about? So she has like a medical disease,
A medical
and he
disease?
called it a balloon knot because she's got a leaky
Gut?
booty.
Oh.
And he's talking about how, she's hot, but she's got a balloon knot, a leaky balloon knot. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
it is the craziest story ever. I know.
It really is. And I'm sitting here like, do I
They
want to
made
jump in this
him
trial? Do I want to jump in now or do I want to wait for the Netflix to like even pull me in
the
further?
Netflix is going to be amazing. Like, and they made him read because no, so I think these cops thought they would get away with it. I don't think they ever thought she would try to fight it. And I think whenever her lawyer guy, the guy who's, done the famous celebrities, when he jumped in, and then when the FBI investigations got involved, because it was just looking so shady.
Yeah.
Then they gave all this information with the text messages for Trooper Proctor and how bad like they were testing things and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
So I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but how does a girl like Crazy Eyes Karen Reed afford a lawyer that represented Jeffrey
People have been
Epstein?
paying for it. Look at all those people that are standing out there like
Why?
freed Karen.
I mean, but just think about it for a second. It's a small town crime like that. See, that makes me that always brings a level of suspicion. Like, why?
Think about it. If you've ever, how mad are people when they don't with corrupt cops, right?
Yeah.
There's been stuff that's happened in their families where something's happened where it's bullshit. And that it's not right. And they're hearing about this story and they're seeing the weird things that are happening. What are you going to do? Hey, this is my time to jump in and give this, help this lady. You know what I mean? I think it's people like that. That's what I think.
I don't know. He's a
Why
lawyer.
not?
Because he's a lawyer. Like lawyers don't do shit like They do things for gain.
Well, look how much. Think about this. Look how publicity this is getting lately, because it's all over TikTok and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
how much publicity he's getting and he's been doing a great job. I'd hire him.
Oh, I'm sure he's doing a great job, but my question is like,
They have not found her guilty. They haven't even here's the thing that's
they haven't
funny.
even deliberated yet, right?
They are still just on the state. The state has brought in 59 witnesses,
Oh,
and every
shit.
single one of them, and like we're not even to the defense yet. And everybody's like, there's no way. There's no way that we haven't even gotten to how she even did it. We just keep talking about how there's all this corruption going on that the
Right.
defense, that the state attorney is bringing in, and it's making him look bad, which is just like, do you know that you're actually supposed to be defending the O'Keefes here? Like,
Yeah.
how is anything that you've been bringing up helpful? I think he's at a, which is crazy.
That's sad. And see, that's the sad part about it is like at the end of the day, that family is going to get like no justice for their dead son.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah.
She's gonna get off. If she doesn't, come on, there's no way. But I don't think they'll ever get. That's the sad thing. And then they're sitting there listening to how basically all these cops failed their son to figure out what really happened.
Yeah.
And they're never gonna find out. They're never.
Yeah.
Which sucks, right? There's a person died and didn't get what they're supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. There's got to be, I don't know, like Gabriella says, come on, they make a hero out of George Floyd. I get what she's saying. There's got to be an angle to this because like I'm looking at like the images like in front of the courts. They have all these like feminists out front and they're like free Karen Reed and they've got their free Karen Reed shirts.
Girl,
And
look how much involvement those people got into that boy up in Tennessee. People catch on to something, they're going to get involved when they're like so they're going to shove money.
Right. But I'm saying the media is like a part of that machine, right? Like, so it doesn't matter how much people get involved, like without the media pushing it. And then you've got this like high profile Jeffrey Epstein lawyer. And he also represented Kevin Spacey, who's also in the news now all of a sudden, once again. Isn't that interesting? Like nothing is by
he is.
Yeah, but nothing is by mistake. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden people just didn't get interested in like why Kevin Spacey is broke.
I really think so think about it. I mean, Kevin Spacey and what's his name? The other guy. What's his name? The one who's in jail. Like Oprah loved him. Do you know what I'm talking about? That guy. Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, the other
they
guy,
all lost all their trials, right?
Yeah.
This is a slam dunk. This is a slam dunk. I think he needed a win, and it's going to be a very public win. And it's going to bring up all this stuff about the police officers and how they're corrupt, and that gets a lot of news. So I could see why he would jump into it for sure. Sure.
That could ultimately be the motive, right? Is like the media loves, and I'm not saying that the corrupt police doesn't have, I mean, hell, we just talked about a whole bunch of corruption in police departments, but that is the agenda that they're trying to push. So like out of all the cases that police handle, of course, they're only going to highlight the ones like where police look crazy and like, sus. So,
as much as they talk about like police officers, like, that's their brother in arms and, they're all usually like, rah for each other. This is your friend you've known forever that died.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think these people would be on their A game to make sure that this woman, if they for sure believe that she did it, they make sure every dot was, dotted, T's are crossed. That hasn't happened at all.
Right. I would have like been there with my phone. I would have been there with my phone, with my ring stuff, like whatever you need. Yeah. I'm going to be the most cooperative person that I can be for you, like to bring justice to this situation for sure. That something's not right there.
No, and like even like the clothes, like Trooper Proctor didn't bring his clothes. Like he had his clothes and stuff like that from the coroner, and he's supposed to take those into evidence and stuff like that. He didn't take them in for weeks, and then it was found out that somebody washed them.
What?
Somebody washed his clothes,
dude. This is ridiculous.
It's I'm telling you, it's wild. It is wild.
Washed clothes, collected evidence in red Solo cups, like that alone.
They didn't have cameras like on their body, but they had like cameras on their police cars, and the Ring cameras, a bunch of videos are missing. And then when they brought Karen Reed's car to the police station, and because they're trying to figure out when did this light get broken, because she did, like, they have a video of her backing her car out. She did hit her boyfriend's car when she left, and she thinks that's when it got cracked. She was backing up and hit it. And so they've been trying to figure out, they're like, no, see, look in this video. When we took the car into the police station, the light is missing. And they doctored that video. It's reversed. So they mirrored it. Yep. You can tell where they've kind of like try to overlap the video, where people are kind of like 1 minute they're there and the next they're not, or like the snow looks different.
You could see the edits. Yeah.
And then this guy came on yesterday. No, it was Trooper Proctor. He comes out and he goes, yeah, he's like, actually, I think that lettering's supposed to be blue. And it was yellow, the timestamp.
Stop.
Girl.
Dude, they're so messy.
It just keeps going.
Wow.
Yes, it's crazy.
So
crazy.
How much longer do we have in this case?
Oh my God, we're going into till July.
Jeez. Yeah, I definitely can't.
We haven't even gotten to the defense yet. And I'm like, at this point, do you even need it? Can we just call it?
What's Emily D. Baker saying? Is she just like, this is insane?
She said, I've never seen anything like this ever. She's like, usually, she's very been like, she'll keep her opinion to herself. She never really, she wants to hear it all before she gives out like an opinion. And she's just like, yeah, I've never in my life, she's like, in the years that I've done this, seen anything like this before. She's like, and she gets really angry. She would be like,
she's like, you mean?
Like, what is happening? Like, why are we here? Like, what is the point of, like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys don't know who we're talking about, Emily D. Baker is that attorney that Heather, watches, and she covers a lot of cases. She's so entertaining to listen to, and she does like an amazing breakdown.
Yeah. So you can understand what's happening.
Heather's like a part of her like subscription group. So she gets like extra content that us regular folks don't get. But if you guys want to watch, she has a YouTube channel, Emily D. Baker. So she covers all the good cases. We love her. She is a great road trip. Listen.
Oh yeah. Oh, she was great during Johnny Depp.
So good.
So good. Do you want to see the she's got a leaky balloon knot video?
I wanted to see you never found the video where the judge was like, he said cut.
No, it wasn't the judge, it was the lawyer.
Oh, the lawyer.
The lawyer, because her lawyer, he emphasizes the cuss words because they're reading Trooper Proctor's text messages, which is absolutely embarrassing. Like, I had secondhand embarrassment, and he's not supposed to be talking like that or telling other people what's happening. He was telling his sister all the details, and then it's crazy. And he'd be like, "She's a cunt, right? That's what you said. She's a cunt." Like, really emphasize the words, and we're like, "Okay, we get it. Yeah, like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then he said in his text message, he goes, "I hope she unalives herself."
Yeah, so
You're the lead detective of this. You're supposed to be biased. You can't just what? It's crazy.
I'm seeing some of the video. Trooper Proctor reads personal text messages.
That's the thing. If you got hit by a car as hard as they're saying to kill you, there's no broken bones. There's not very much bruising, except that was on his face and those markings on his arms and stuff, and that hit the back of his head. It's weird.
Okay, wait. I have a Trooper Proctor video here. If you guys are like so curious to see what he looks like, hold on one second.
Micah Miller.
Micah Miller is the one that the pastor's wife that like she killed herself.
Oh my gosh, that one's crazy.
Okay, hold on. Let's listen and see if we hear the good. Now, of course, this is CBS News. They're going to
cut out all the cuss words and the fun part.
But use your imagination.
Zero. Absolutely zero impact on this investigation.
That is what State Trooper Michael Proctor tried to convince the jury about his relationship with some witnesses in this case and about the unflattering personal text messages of his he sent about Karen Reed as he investigated her for murder.
She's a whack job. See you.
Objection. This is great. Judge, like, you have to say it.
Don't spell it. You have to. So these are.
That's just like the Johnny Depp trial. Remember?
You have to say it. It's your words.
Remember when Johnny Depp had to say it? He was like laughing. Oh God.
Doesn't Crazy Eyes kind of look AOC? They do have the eyes.
She does. I want to watch
Yes,
the Johnny
I
Depp trial
agree.
again.
Your words, Trooper Proctor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. Said the Alberts beat the
Weird
out of
farmer
O'Keefe,
accent.
left him for dead, and that's why her taillight was cracked. She's gross. Trooper DeChico. Oh, her.
Hear them red and open.
Woo! Beep,
So
beep, beep,
they think that Trooper Proctor, so it did have a crack in it. They think
Uh-huh.
that he broke there's 45 minutes of film missing from when the car was at the police station. Just randomly 45 minutes.
Of all
Yeah.
places.
Of all places, right? That's missing.
Wow,
And they
that's
think that
sus.
he broke the tail light because he said he would just kind of randomly be driving by and he'd go look again and he'd just find more pieces of the tail light. And like you're like, what? What in the world? And I said, oh, well, it's because of the snow. And even like when they first were looking for evidence, they were using snow blowers to move the snow out of the way.
Stop it. Do better, Massachusetts. Do better.
I was like, we're never going up there. What is wrong with you people up north?
Right? We're not going to the Grand Teton National Forest.
Nope.
We're not going to, where was Murdaugh from? Virginia, West Virginia?
South Carolina.
Can't
It's so
go there.
pretty there though. That's a shame. Don't go to a
Not
small
going-
town.
Don't go to a small. This is exactly what it is. Don't go to a small.
Like
And
the
don't go to
Nancy
Georgia.
Pelosi. Don't go to Georgia. Oh my gosh. What's that rapper's name?
Oh
Young
yeah, you were
something
talking Young Thug.
Yes, I am I'm the biggest fan of that lawyer. That was so awesome of him.
Yeah, tell the story of what
Okay.
happened, because I haven't been watching the Young Thug trial.
Yeah, I only seen this clip. So basically what happened, so he's like, under like, I mean, he's there for a reason. He's definitely for drugs.
Yeah.
All like whatever you could think of on top of murder, okay? And one of the witnesses, so when you have a witness and you have any kind of conversation, both lawyers have to be present. They have to be.
Yes.
That is the rules, okay? Well, the judge, so he was pleading the fifth. He was like, I plead the fifth, because they're like, everybody knows that he knows that that guy didn't kill him, but he's been pleading the fifth.
Yeah.
And so the judge called him back to his chambers without letting the Thug Life's lawyer know about it.
Young Thug, not Thug
Is that
Life.
his name? Is it Young Thug?
You
That's
said Thug
terrible.
Life.
Thug Life. We're just living that thug life. What is his name? Is it Young Thug?
It's Young Thug.
Okay. He's living thug life. Anyway, so they went back into his chambers, the witness, the state's lawyer that's prosecuting Young Thug, and the judge, and threatened him that if he didn't speak up and say some certain things, that they would throw him into jail and do all these things. And so the guy goes back on the stand and he just starts talking like, so first he's like, I plead the fifth. And then all of a sudden he's speaking, he's just, everything's coming out. And they go to lunch, and the Young Thug's lawyer finds out about this meeting that you're not supposed to have at all. And so they come back from lunch, and he goes, he's like, I had a source tell me that you had a meeting without me with the witness. And so he calls him out. And the first lawyer says, who told you that? Who told you that? You need to tell me who told you that. And the guy's like, no, absolutely not. He's like, well, if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. And he's like, he's like, but you are doing something that's illegal. You can't do that. And he's like, but you can't keep that to yourself. You need to tell me who that is, because that is disturbing that you know that information, like just completely glossing over that he broke the law.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they arrested him, and he held him in, and he goes, when he's leaving, he's like, well, can you put me in the same jail cell as my client so we can keep working on our case together? Like, that's what he told them.
Oh man.
So when they arrested him, a bunch of people were watching what was happening that live in Georgia, and over I think it's 25 lawyers showed up, and the woman who like knows the law, I forget what her name is, that works like for the Supreme Court of Georgia or whatever like that, comes in and just lays and just eats that judge.
Mhm.
That what you did was
Yeah.
unlawful, like laid it all out, and he just
Yeah.
sat there like a sad man. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna get disbarred. I haven't looked into see what
Didn't they
happened.
put him under arrest?
Who, the judge?
The lawyer.
They did arrest the lawyer, yes.
Oh, okay,
They
okay,
did.
okay.
And then
Do you have the clip?
released.
Can you gotta
Let me
find the clip
it.
of that.
I'm gonna find the clip of him
Okay.
talking. Yeah.
Yeah. While you're finding the clip, we can just imagine that this is how it went down. So let's take a look.
I believe the pit.
Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
It's one of my favorite Dave
Okay.
Chappelle episodes.
I found the video where he's bringing it to the judge.
All right.
So maybe I'll send that to you.
Why don't you just present it?
It won't let me.
Oh.
It won't let me. Mm-mm. Remember we tried to test it. It's not letting me.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Hey guys, put a 1 in the chat if you're enjoying today's show and you're enjoying today's conspiracy theories. And if there's any other conspiracies that you'd love us to discuss, we actually have a third member, but she's a mother of 2 young children. And she couldn't join us tonight because she's actually in Colorado with her family. So yeah, we miss you, Angela. If you're listening, Angela. But we shall have more conspiracies for you. Trust and believe.
Can you see it?
Where did you send it?
I just did what I've been doing.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
State of Georgia. How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland,
Can
who
you
supposedly
expand?
announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually, all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele,
I
I
do
want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to
told
know
you?
is why wasn't I there? Why,
Sir, I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who this. Tell me who this information
don't
was.
want to
Tell
be
me.
contempt.
Well,
I'm not
then-
answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am
Yep.
not answering that.
Attorney-client privilege. Unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out.
I am
I
telling
tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me,
You don't have to. I'm
If
gonna
you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you.
Let me-
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
Because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Here comes the bailiff.
product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
Ooh.
Look at that. You should have told me.
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland says, Mr. Copeland
Oh.
made statements
Here's the bailiff.
that he admitted.
So one thing that they they don't talk about is when that bailiff walked up to him. So I guess with lawyers, like their notes are like their babies. Like that's
Yeah.
what right?
Yeah.
Bailiff walked up and tried to take his notes out of his hands. And like you can hear the recording of where he's like, do not take my notes from me. You cannot touch those. And the bailiff ripped his notes out of his hands. Yeah. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy? So
Wow.
that he's more concerned about, well, who told you that than
Right.
the law. Like, dude,
Wow.
it's like you should have told me.
What?
Isn't that crazy? What is up?
What is going on?
months?
First of all, okay. Doctors, police officers, lawyers, judges. We can't try like all the people that okay, is it designed this way? Because all the people we have grown up, priests that we've been told these are the safe people, right? Like you're in trouble, run to a police officer, go tell a man of the church. We can't
Oh,
trust
yeah.
anybody anymore.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
It's
Lord.
crazy. I'm telling you. I think it's always been there. We just see it more now.
Hashtag thug life. That's, I mean, that is like the theme. That is the theme of the show. Hashtag thug life.
But it's just it's wild. It's wild.
It is
what's
wild.
going on.
It is so wild.
Keep playing until they arrest the attorney.
It
I don't-
doesn't. That was a short, right? It didn't show that.
What?
When
Them
they
ripping
get
the paperwork?
no, them getting him getting arrested.
Let me see. There might be one. Let me double check.
Okay,
See.
man.
Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, he takes like his jacket off and stuff.
I may have to jump on this young thug trial.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But
Look at
that
this.
lawyer, like,
Stone with the
ride
hashtag
or
tonight.
die. I'm
Make
going with
solo
him. We're gonna
cups
go
great
sit
again.
in a jail together, and we're gonna keep working on this case. And he is definitely guilty of the stuff he did. But that lawyer's like, I got you.
Yeah.
I'd want him as my lawyer. I mean, he
Yeah.
just like, but he's also like standing for justice. Like, what you did was wrong. You can't do that. You're the
Yeah.
judge. You can't do that.
Well, let me just say this. Okay. This Young Thug trial is happening in Fulton County. The DA was Fannie Willis. I mean, Young Thug should be asking for a mistrial. I know he's not innocent by any means, but like this is his out. Just the fact that Fannie Willis came anywhere near his case, he should ask for a mistrial and get out of there pronto.
Mm-hmm. Where is the video?
They were trying to continue the trial without the attorney. Are you joking? What? Only
Did they
until-
really? Did they try to do that? See, I haven't
Only-
looked what's happened here. I got the video of when they arrest him. I mean, he goes calmly, takes off his jacket, and just walks out. His wife is an attorney.
Okay.
And immediately filed for appeal and all this stuff like that. He's just like, okay, here you go. Someone hold my jacket. And then look at him. He's just like, what is happening? They arrested him.
Poor Young Thug. He's like,
They
what about
wanted
my-
him to serve 20 days in jail on the weekends only. That was the punishment. That's what that judge was punishing it. That was what.
His will, my will. You've taken away.
What kind of white privilege is that?
And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So, for that reason, additionally, I asked for a mistrial, and I assume you denied, but I'd like you to deny our motions for mistrial. You denied the other people.
I denied your motion, but I'll certainly take that under advisement, sir.
All right, take Mr. Steele.
Crazy.
Wow.
He got out within like the day. Sounds
Yeah.
like an SNL skit. It's so true.
For sure. That's crazy.
Crazy. I saw that online. I was like,
I love that Hey, Sudi. Girl, we just got to the end of it. Hey, you would have really enjoyed the Karen Reed case, Sudi, because it just highlights police corruption, which you'd love
it's
to talk
so
about.
bad.
Yeah.
If
But
that's your thing, you need to jump in, girl, because it's
yeah, but see, Suni, like me, I'm like that trial's already too far in for us to. You can't hear us. We haven't had a problem getting here. It must be on your end. That trial is way too far in for either me or Suni. So again, we're gonna have to wait till the Netflix
probably
to like really jump in it. But Suni, severe police corruption on the Karen Reed. Ridiculous. Okay. And then young Thug, we were just kind of like highlighting that wasn't even on the agenda.
Suni, I'll get with you and I'll catch you up on Karen Reed.
Suni loves a recap,
Real
man.
quick. And then she'll dive and you just do your research and yeah, that'd be so fun.
She loves a recap.
I would love to hear what she would say. I do.
Oh, dude. She would rip into it, I'm sure. She would rip into it. Oh, I can't believe we got through all of our cases, Heather.
I know.
We're like professional. We did it.
Welcome to the craziness that we talk about all the time, guys. I hope you loved it.
Listen,
you basically
this made
see
me
what
happy.
our chats are on our phones, our group chat.
Yeah. This made me so happy because it's rare that I get to like really just talk about this with somebody else who like, like sit down all at once and talk about this, like with somebody else who's into this stuff too. Cause usually, the people that love me and like, are around me that I'm like, oh my God, did you hear about this? They're just like, I
know my husband's like, what? And I'm like, you're never going to believe what happened in trial today. This cop.
And they
Or I'm
just
sitting at
listen
work
because they're
and I'm like-
obligated.
I'm like, these people are sus. Like, I'll just like yell it at work and people are like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
No. Y'all know.
Yeah.
Let me text Monique.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are the only ones I can count on for this. And like Suni, she gets into some stuff too, but like she's not into like the crazy rabbit holes that I go down. Like she only until it starts to become a little bit more believable. Like I wish we had more time, you and I, and more information to talk about this Obama chef because I'm still not going to let that go.
What?
The Obama chef that drowned at Martha's Vineyard, like in some
yes,
right?
Oh my God, yes.
Dude, that is so sus.
Girl, I saw that. I was like, come on. It's just
We
like like Hillary Clinton. Everybody around Hillary Clinton, they die.
Yeah, and
We
that
can get into the
story,
Bowie stuff.
right? And that story just like quietly, just like slipped away.
Disappeared. It just disappears.
Mm-hmm.
because they control the media. So.
Yep.
Wasn't he naked? Was he?
I don't know. Oh my
I don't know. I
God.
hadn't heard that part.
I don't know. That we don't know. Like, I am so far removed. Oh, here's Suni. Here she is.
Hey, Suni.
What is that on your head? What's going on? Is that your conspiracy crown?
She's like, I'm here for conspiracy, guys.
It's my vacation crown.
Your
'cause I ain't
vacation
been here all week.
Has it stopped raining yet?
Today was the first day it didn't rain.
Where are you at?
Gosh. She's in Okinawa.
Oh, wow. Cool.
By the way,
Suni. Yeah.
don't these shirts look fly, bro?
Repeal the 19th. Oh, are those are those new? Or are those the ones you
They
had?
are new.
Oh, they're
No,
the new
that's
ones.
new.
Oh my gosh. Suni, you don't understand. My conspiracy like desires have been fulfilled tonight.
But you know, okay, so you know what I love, Mooney? Because like because you and I usually like when we talk about stuff, we usually have different kind of views. You look at it one way and I look at it one way, and we can have like a
Yeah.
really good.
You're
But there's
logical.
sometimes where I'm like, what are you going, Monique?
Yeah, you're logical and I'm not.
Yes, I'm like, bring it in, but there's no facts.
Suni, this is Suni's same gripe with me.
I'm with you. Suni. There's times where I'm like, what?
Oh no. Suni, the penis guy tried to come back in here. Heather, did you see his penis?
I did not. It didn't show up.
The penis guy tried to come
I
back
saw
in
your
here.
face. So I was like, I don't see it. Maybe because I'm like not logged into this. Maybe I got to create an account because I'm just like a guest.
Yeah. I quickly blocked him, but he tried to come back into the chat. Yeah. Did Suni buy that shirt from Pearl's website? You're gonna get in trouble.
Hey, man, look.
What are you
No, I
showing
didn't
me?
buy it from Trolley Things. What? This is my shirt.
So how's it going with your in-laws?
I can't really hear you. I'm sorry.
I know we can't hear you very well either. It's like cutting out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I just decided to pop in and say hi.
All right. Well, we're about to end the show. We're about to end the show.
Are you about to end the show?
Yeah. We've been on for
No, this is
And she's gone.
Bye,
Suni.
She's gone. Yeah, we've been almost on for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot. You can
you
just keep
imagine?
going.
We do like 3-hour shows like twice a week. It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
I did have fun. Thank you for letting me come on.
You're welcome
You
anytime.
convinced me to do it.
I know. You're welcome anytime.
You know
And
me,
this is-
I'm gonna do what I can to support. That's what I do.
this is just us dipping the toe on whether or not we need to create a separate
Yeah.
show for this, because I think people are really interested in this type of stuff, and it's like a good break.
It's always fun to talk about conspiracy gossip stuff. It's just good.
Yeah.
It takes you out of like, all the real stuff that's like serious stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not that some of
exactly.
the stuff is serious because it is.
It's
But
all
you know,
serious.
yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
serious, but it's fun to like let your imagination sometimes. Well, I mean, let your imagination run wild, but like sometimes in our wildest imaginations, it's all true.
They steal your steak.
I can't wait till we go to Colorado.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
so
We need a
ready.
redo so bad. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we need a redo.
Mhm.
Let me just tell you guys really quick before we go. So Heather and I go far back on my antics because we used to work together, and I actually met Heather because I got hired to manage the department she worked in. So
Yep, you're my boss.
just know, yeah, I was her boss, but like Heather was always trying to talk sense into me. Because I was like, I would literally like write an email, because you guys have to understand, like when I write emails in my mind, I write them, I say them in Spanish, and they come out in English. So like when you speak Spanish,
You really?
yes, that's why
I
my
didn't know
emails,
that.
yes, that's why
Oh,
my,
wow, okay.
that's why sometimes my spelling is bad. Like the way I write things is like very different, or like too much, or overly direct.
Mm-hmm.
To the point like where it sounds rude, because in my mind when I'm speaking Spanish on how I want to say it and I'm typing it in English, Spanish does not have like apologetic language like English does. Like, you know, do you think, would you mind? Like that doesn't exist in the Spanish language. It's very like direct. It's very like, do this, like whatever. So anyways, Heather one time was like, well, I was writing something and she was like, okay, well, let me read it first. Because she knew I struggled in that area. So she was ever so sweet to like, sometimes like when I was having to write like a heated email to a customer or whatever, she would proofread them for me to make sure that I didn't come across like an asshole.
That's so funny. I'm not good at it. I'll write out my mean email and then to get my feelings out, and then you delete it, and then you go back
You're
and
the
make it
best.
sound professional. Now what I do is what's crazy, I use AI. That's helped me out.
What?
I'll write out an email and put it in and say, make this sound more professional, and it'll type it out for me. I've used it a few times. Like I've sent it out to like our guys, and I'll be like, you know, whatever about whatever change, and I'll be like, brought to you by ChatGPT AI, because I did.
Wait, so
crazy.
you can type out a whole email and then copy and paste it and say, make this sound more professional?
Yes, and it will. It's cool. It's the coolest
I have
thing.
never. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody hear that? There you go. Let me tell you, if you
Saves me so
ever
much time.
need, without going into too much detail, if you ever need a breakup letter written, okay, and I know you guys don't know Heather, she can write it for you. I get 10% of the fees since I'm telling you this, but for a small fee, which is very well worth it, Heather can write your breakup letter. Right? You just need to provide for her a few details, and
man, it was pretty good.
You're amazing.
I didn't use AI for that, so
no, there's no way. There's no way you could have used AI for that one.
no, it was good.
All right, Heather. Well, this is the end of the show.
Yes. Well,
This
thank
is
you
where
so
we
much for letting me
in.
come on. It was fun.
Yes. Thank you, everybody who joined tonight and joined in on the chat. Really, really, really appreciate it. We had a blast, and it's too bad Suni left because I can't remember if she's going to be back next week or the week after. I'll have to ask her, but
if we should try to figure if we can get Angela on.
Oh my gosh.
We got to figure that out.
That's a whole
It'll be so fun.
nother level.
And we should be all together.
Yes, we should be all together.
We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Definitely.
We'd be like, these crazy ladies.
They're going to be like, wow. Yeah, Angela brings a whole nother layer of entertainment.
I love her.
Maybe we should do a live show from Colorado with
That'd be
Ashley.
fun, with all 5 of us. That'd be cool.
We should do
Ashley's amazing. I love her.
We should do a sex chat.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah.
With Ashley. She's all the things.
She's all the things, and she knows. Okay, so you people that are here watching, the 9 people that are left over, because people tend, as soon as I say show's over, people jump off. Just fair warning, Ashley does not hold back.
No filter. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So, yeah, we'll do a little sex topic show.
Awesome.
That sounds good.
Sounds fun.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully, well, I'll definitely be here Tuesday, but hopefully Suni will be back Tuesday. And we'll probably be back with a regular show. But if you guys like this, definitely hit us up in the DMs on Somewhere in the Middle and let us know if you like this type of conspiracy theory show. We can bring it back to you. Make sure you are subscribed as always, and make sure you hit the like button and drop a comment as always so that it helps the algorithm of this video getting out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great weekend, and happy Father's Day to all the babies.
Yes.
All the baby daddies. Happy Father's Day, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
So when you're done getting high, it's over when the party's over. Where you going when the party's over? Hey.